Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who dat, who dat, who dat? Hey, thanks everybody for joining us tonight for a special edition of Down South Sports Fanatics on this lovely cold Wednesday. I know Darren likes this weather. Listen, look, let me introduce my co-host over here, the voice himself. What's up, Dave Robin?
What's going on, man? Happy birthday to the Saints, man. This is the anniversary of us getting the Saints as a football team, man.
Yeah. And of course, we know him as the burner himself, Mr. Darren Burns. What's up, brother?
What's up, everybody? How we doing?
That's Coach Burns.
There we go.
Well, look, let's dive into it. Dave, I know you enjoyed that one, man. You know, you're a big-time supporter of Dave, Derek Carr. He had a good game, a couple of mishaps. But look, other than that, he looked good. Finally looked like, I don't know who called him plays. I mean, I'm going to leave that up to you and Darren. With all that speculation. Go on, let's dive into it, Dave. What you think? What was different this week?
I think a lot of things we talked about. We did the pregame. We talked about flow of the game. I think the flow was good. I think the offensive line, man, did its thing. I mean, I think Derek Carr only got sacked one time. He looked poised in the pocket. The run game was solid. I mean, it was a good all-around effort, man. The defense, a little shaky at times, but they made some adjustments, run defense-wise, as the game went on. But man,
Lance?
Good, definitely the best offensive performance of the year, man. I mean,
Look. I know. Me and Darren talked about a little bit. Darren, you think Ronald Curry had a lot to do with the play calling this Sunday?
Absolutely. I mean, whenever you're a coordinator, you in the box. That's where the coordinator goes. Pete Carmichael was downstairs this week.
But he still had the headset and the play sheet in front of him. So you think it was still more or less coming out of the play box?
Listen, that's how it works, though. If I'm the assistant coordinator and you the coordinator, you upstairs, you calling it down to me, and I'm the one that's signaling that in. You know what I mean? That way.
Yeah.
You can see better,
look. Also, too, Dave beat this like a bad drum about involving Taysom Hill more.
Oh, dude, got to like the last 2 weeks now, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you called that, Dave, especially inside the red zone. You said you used Taysom a lot more.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, there's gonna be those people that criticize, say the ball was underthrown. Guess what, man? There's a lot of bad passes in this league that get intercepted, that are underthrown, overthrown, thrown in triple coverage. Look, it was a deep ball, dude. Shaheed came back and made the completion. So look, to me, I love the fact that they're letting Taysom. He had 2 pass attempts in this game. You got to show that, man. I mean, because this dude, he just averaged 7 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. I mean, but you got to show him throwing the ball and keep that defense a little off balance. So I like everything. The play calling was the best it's been all year. Like Darren was saying, I think Pete Carmichael was jamming to like Phil Collins or some of those headphones because I think Ronald Curry had to have something to do with those play calls, man.
Go ahead, Darren. What you think?
I'm trying to get this damn computer to work.
That's all right, bro. Go ahead. What you think?
I mean, listen, you got to think about this. We're gonna start getting healthier as it is. But look, there's no reason why we're not using Williams more in the red zone. Red zone monster. Just think about this. As a defensive coach, I'm telling you, if you got Williams, you got Graham, Taysom Hill in there, then have Alvin lined up as a slot back.
Yeah.
No one is covering all of that. This is not going to happen. The play calling's a lot more up to date, so that's going to be Curry. Pete Carmichael's old.
Right.
It is.
But you know what, too? I noticed they threw a lot more down. They caught a lot more downfield plays. And also, too, Dave, we talked about it. We talked about it on the show we did Sunday about them getting also Michael Thomas on the slant routes to in routes. And they started doing that a lot more, too, this game.
It just looked like the routes were crisp. You didn't see – how many times did we see guys running into the same place and miscommunication? How many bad routes – looked like they were badly drawn up plays where 2 guys are in the vicinity of one another. We didn't see that Sunday. We saw, field spacing. We saw flow. Like Darren said too, man, like I think they started – I like the fact that Kendrick Miller got touches, Jamal got touches. But I agree with the whole fact that Jamal could get more touches. I mean, let's be real. Taysom and Jamal know each other from the BYU days. I mean, why can't you run a little, zone read inside the red zone with those 2 guys? And like you said, maybe have Kamara in the flat or something.
Yeah. I mean, look, Lance just commented too. Shareed's getting more. He needs more touches. I agree with that.
Yes, that guy, man. I tell you, man. If that dude, look, he would be a guy. If you just saw him, if we didn't have an idea, man. If somebody was in a time capsule and something unlocked just now, and you said, "Hey, what kind of grade would you think would be on this guy just based on talent? You would think this dude's a first or second round grade rather than a guy that just came out of nowhere. You know, I mean, the skill set is there.
Honestly, Dave, I think Sheree could be a true number 2 on an NFL team.
Oh yeah, he's got potential. He's not a one-trick pony. He runs routes. He's got good hands.
He's not number 2. He's not number 2, Darren.
Listen to me. If we use him like they use Tyreek Hill, who's stopping it?
Right. And don't you find some similarities there with Tyreek Hill in a similar way that they came about?
The only thing I would disagree with you on that, Darren, is I don't know if he can get in and out of breaks like Tyreek Hill. That's all. I mean, I've never seen it, but you never know. Tyreek is just on a whole nother level with them inside-outside breaks.
He's not Tyreek, but we can use him like Tyreek.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yes, I agree. I've said that. Yep.
Because remember, Tyreek came out of nowhere. You know, remember he came out that mid-season that year with I think it was with Alex Smith, and I mean he was a punt returner. He started catching attention. I mean, like Darren said, this guy came from just out of nowhere. You know, he wasn't a heralded guy coming out of colleges, out of his college, and just this dude burst on the scene, started making plays, and before you knew it, he improved himself to being one of the best receivers in the league. You know, he worked on his craft.
It was also good to see Juwan Johnson back too.
Yeah. Definitely. No, I mean, hey, dude, they're healthy. I mean, the health is there, man. I mean, it was a really clean game offensively, man. And look, dude, we beat up the offensive line a lot in other podcasts, but man, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I'm seeing it. Andres Pete, man, we've given that guy a lot of shit over the years, and that dude's playing really good football right now. You gotta call that.
I'm glad you brought that up, Dave, because I was gonna say that tonight too. We giving him a lot of crap, but Andres Pete might be playing the best on that offensive line of all.
It's funny, Rich. Nobody would have ever guessed that, saying that we would be here, middle of the season saying that. And it's
Dave,
true,
I think he's got a lot of flack because I've continued to say this over years. We always give Pete a lot of crap, but believe it or not, around the league, he's well respected.
Oh, yeah. He would be getting a lot of money elsewhere if he wasn't making it here, man. I mean, I think we're upset because we always see him hurt with a nagging injury, a little inconsistency. But the dude, I mean, let's be real. This guy went high in the first round out of Stanford. He can do a lot of different things. He's very versatile. He's a, abusive kind of lineman, dude. Yeah. I mean, he's a, intelligent guy. If you went to Stanford, you got to be, So, I mean, yeah.
I mean, Darren, we was talking about Andres Pete really playing well lately.
I can hear y'all. I'm trying to get.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Listen, he's playing great, but I mean, he's supposed to play great. But we have a lot to work on as far as offensive line's concerned, man. McCoy better this week.
Yeah.
McCoy has been disappointing, man. Very.
And I think he's one of the best centers in football. He's just got to play better. He's got to step his game up a little bit, man, because he's got it. He's definitely one of the elite centers. The line,
I mean, we still give it. I mean, I agree with Darren. The line still needs still a little ways off, but they have played a lot better. They really have.
Oh yeah, massive improvement. Yeah.
I mean, because compared to what we was the first week 2, I mean, we was getting slammed. I mean, it was just coming through like it was nothing, like nobody was there. So it's great. It's greatly improved. But listen, let's dive a little bit on side of the defense, man. I am still a little disappointed in them. I still don't see the, I guess how you would say, consistency of the 3 and outs like we used to see. And I don't know what the second half they seem to turn it on a little better. What you think's going, Darren? As you as a coach, what do you see what's going on with the defense right now?
Well, we got a couple of things. We're getting a little bit older. All the way around the board. We still have some players that's injured, that's a little banged up. I mean,
what's up, Slayer? What's up, Joe?
Out for a little bit. And I was sick to my stomach because, in my opinion, I think Granderson's our best defensive player right now.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, Joseph just said hit the nail on the head. Cam Jordan only has 2.5 sacks so far. That's not Cam-like.
Hold on, does he have 2.5?
Yeah,
that's a good question. I'll tell you this: how nervous were you guys, man?
Hey, we need to put Pancho in.
Pancho's in. Hey, Darren, let me ask you this, dude. How nervous? Like, I agree with what you're saying about Carl Granderson. How nervous were you when Carl Granderson went down, dude? I was terrified that this dude was hurt for multiple weeks, man.
Scared. I ain't gonna lie. I was nervous on that one. I know Pancho was too.
I didn't know. I don't even know what.
What's up, P?
What's up, Pancho? Everybody, welcome, Pancho.
The dancing bear's here, man.
What's up, Pig?
Not much, man.
We was just talking about the defense a little bit.
As far as, I mean, a lot of people putting things on the defense. Again, if you presenting some threes and outs and you turn some turnovers, you tend to put the defense, on their heels. So if you could produce some nice drives and put the defense on the side, like Darren said, they being old, like I said, you need to be there, man. You need to put that the defense. I think we're still a top 10 defense. We still, once you get the offense figured out, like kind of like hopefully we did this last game.
Yeah,
that'll put some, take some stress off the defense's back.
What I didn't like, Pete, and I'm gonna let y'all talk about it. What I don't like is Lattimore just don't look like himself lately, man. He really don't.
He is a top cornerback still. Look at.
I know, but just like some silly
numbers. But when
I don't think. Go ahead.
When you got one leg of the defense, giving up something, then you got all the responsibilities is on the D backs. So they got again, they not allowed to touch anybody.
But they always what I mean by that though, Pancho, is all right. I think Lattimore's an elite cornerback. Treat him like that. Like you see these elite cornerbacks. I understand the Saints go into zone defense sometimes and it's zone blitz, but Lattimore should always be in the receiver's face, no matter what. Not 7 yards off of him.
Darren, Darren, explain to him why you have cushions and why you don't have cushions.
So the deal about it though. But see, my defense is a little bit different. Of course, I don't run NFL defenses, but I have had NFL cornerbacks, Corey Turner, play. But listen, sometimes it'll go from zone to man. Depends if he's trying to take the cover off of it. But a lot of times, like on those little dig routes and on those crossing patterns across the whole field from a slot, that has to get shifted over to Pete Werner or whoever's. Like it gets shifted over. So you really can't have him manned up. And if we're going to blitz, most of the time we're going to go to zone. That way it's not a blown coverage.
Go ahead, Darren. Go ahead, Dave.
No, I agree with Darren saying too. And to me, it feels like sometimes the middle of the defense is a little soft. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but there was like a 3rd and 11. I want to say we gave up. In years past, we always seem to protect the middle of the defense. Of course, we had, you had Marcus Williams and Chauncey and Malcolm Jenkins. I don't feel with the safety combination, and like Darren alluded to Warner, it might have been somewhat on him as well. But I find the middle of that field has been exposed at times this year. Like you said, the corner's passing off somebody, and nobody's picking them up. We talked about Tyrann Mathieu that last game with Christian Kirk getting beat right in the middle of the field for that touchdown, and there was no help. So I think there's a little miscommunication going on. I think that comes down to safety play and linebacker a little bit.
I think it's more of the Honey Badger taking chances too.
Yeah. And because the corners are there, dude. Our 3 corners, I take them against anybody's. I'll say that 100 times over again. Our guys, with Lattimore, Devo, and Taylor, they can cover as good as any trio in this league.
The 2 guys. Go ahead, Pancho.
In your defenses, you got down to tell you got man guys and you got cover guys. Like you got zone guys. Some guys can't man up. They don't have the ability or speed. Just breaking down some clips I seen of Dion. Dion liked to play man up tight coverage. He had a reason why he felt nobody could beat him off the line. He felt that he can stonewall you at the O line and throw off your coverage or throw off your timing, because that any coach will tell you, Darren, your long passes are basically time passes. Your slants are time passes. If you can take off a 0.5 or 0.75 seconds off that bump and off that timing, that's an interception. And a lot of kids book, a lot of guys book because if the receiver's not there, your safety could be there, in that slot, the slants, and so a lot of people, why you don't slant? Because that is a timing route. You just don't throw that ball out there. You throwing it knowing he's going to be there, and your receiver's got to be there.
What I mean by that, like with the defenses wise, I haven't seen the pressure from the ends collapsing the defense, collapsing the offensive line like in pass. That's all.
That's because Cam Jordan's got 2.5 sacks and probably 4 hurries.
Yeah, there's no pressure. Again, down to tell you, if you
then you wouldn't
line out, then
but wouldn't you agree? Then Pancho, that goes back to what you just said. Wouldn't you agree that if you don't get pressure on the quarterback, it don't matter who your cornerback's back there, right, Darren? Wouldn't you agree?
No, I definitely 100% agree to that. But that's the reason why these linebackers are getting picks, because we act like we going up, and it's a timing thing. So the linebacker come and he says, all right, so a 5 and in for the slant is going to be right there. 5 and slant inside is going to be there. That linebacker drops back. That's a nice interception right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. So y'all think the linebacker play, to me, and I know DeMario's dealing with a knee issue right now, but another guy that you haven't really seen that's always been known for a lot of tackling is Pete Warner.
Warner's kind of, he's tapering off a little bit. I think he's still a heck of a ball player, man. I still think it comes back to years past. I mean, remember, I know we don't have these guys, so we can't sit there and whine and piss and moan about it, but Marcus Williams used to play single high. He had that locked up. You had Malcolm Jenkins, who was as smart as any safety that's ever played for the Saints. He was roaming underneath. You had Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who was ball hawking underneath, and you had DeMario. So, I mean, you had that middle of the field covered. Now I think it's sometimes a little miscommunication. Like you said, maybe Tyran's taking a few chances too many. Maybe Warner's not in position.
Lance just asked you, maybe you could elaborate on it. What about Foskey? Where's he been at?
Well, dude, Foskey came up a little bit this last game. I mean, he was, he was in on that play, the turnover. And dude, I like to see Foskey get more run. I mean, because Peyton Turner, I don't know if y'all are ready to give up on that situation yet, but it's getting close. But Foskey's a guy I think we really need to see move forward.
They've been playing Breesy a lot more than Peyton Turner lately too.
Yeah, and dude, I like that. I want to give kudos to the middle of the line too, because I think the middle of the line did a nice job adjusting. Because Jonathan Taylor, he had that big run early and kind of gashed us a little bit, but we really made some nice adjustments inside. I mean, I want to give credit to the guys inside for kind of knocking that out the park after that first quarter.
The numbers, I mean, I don't believe we gave up 100 yards rushing to a particular running back in quite some time.
Yeah.
What was Taylor at 95 or what? Was he like right under 100? Huh?
Yeah, right under.
But again, I think we have a nice streak going on with holding running backs on under 100.
Yeah, and look at the adjustment.
Richie posted, I think, with the first, second quarter, that Taylor was going to be a problem. And I was
saying, he was early. He had a 70 yards rush in the first 2 drives, I think.
Gardner Minshew was going to win you or lose you the game, not Taylor. I mean, Gardner Minshew.
Minshew could lose you that game, but Taylor was going to win it for them. If Taylor got 130, 140 yards rushing,
don't you think – Pancho, I'm glad you brought that up. Don't you think they made some good halftime adjustments on defense?
Yeah.
I mean, all around they made good. The biggest adjustment was the no huddle. I mean, as far as offense wise, I'm glad you said that, Pancho. Great point. I mean,
great point.
Did it speed up the game? Not really.
Dave, listen, you and Dave both said 3 weeks ago with that no huddle when they ran into the Superdome how effective it was. They need to do that a lot more.
Game flow, man. Game flow and pace is important.
To get a play calling advantage, huddling to at least to get the overthinking out of the game. Derek Carr, I believe, he was so zoned in on being the check down QB that he needed the non-thinking aspect of the game. To sit there, and it almost looked like he's calling a lot of plays that he's calling, kind of like Drew did.
Yeah, he's scared to death. He's scared.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's scared to get hit. And again, you got certain timing, and you're talking about a quarterback. If you get to him early, Darren will tell you that'll throw your whole game off for the whole game. Their timing is set in the first quarter, the speed of the game.
Hey, look, I can't see what Shane's gonna say on this. Excuse me, fellas, but I try to send a blitz early. I'm talking about like the first play. I try to send probably a full lineman. I try to send a backer and maybe a corner. I just try to get that off real quick. But hey, can somebody get Bobby out of this damn chat talking about go Panthers? What the hell's wrong with that?
I don't see it, Dan. I don't see it. He must be on yours.
Wait, somebody's really a Panthers fan out there?
He's a Green Bay fan, and the cheese been getting ate out there.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, the Packers. I thought you said Panthers. I was about to say, I've yet to meet a Panthers fan out this way.
Darren, Shane, your friend said the up-tempo offense eliminates subs, giving the offense the leverage.
The defense, yeah.
It definitely keeps subs from coming off the sideline. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, they hold it now. You can't even do it,
Mm-hmm.
You can't even sub somebody. The referee's going to give you a time sub.
But as I know, if you the aspects of the game, if you play that style, if you play that style, you better prepared for your defense to be able to adjust to that style. Because if you're 3 and out that quick, or if you do no huddle 3 and out, you out within 45 seconds with time on the clock, and you put your defense on the field, and you turn around in 3 seconds, or you go you might go 2 series, or you might get a first down, but your time on the field has been a minute, and your defense is right back on the field. So you got to be able to produce with the no huddle and to be able to keep the defense off the field. And I feel confident we have the players to do that. And I hopefully that.
I mean, but here's the deal on offense. Why are we only seeing the team, the focus point being on our 3 receivers, Shareed, Olave, and Michael Thomas?
What's that mean? You mean as far as I don't know. I mean, I think Carr did a pretty good job of spreading the ball around this last game. I mean, I think these other guys just aren't getting open.
He did, Dave. What I mean is we have a 4th and 5th receiver. You're spreading people out, but you're not giving. It just seems like those guys are on the field. And I get,
If I had to just throw a guess out of, I mean, Darren's a coach, but I mean, I don't know. Darren might agree or disagree.
But you don't have the time to go 4 or 5.
I think it's more or less get familiar with your personnel. Remember, Derek Carr just got here this year. He's learning the playbook. He's 8 games in now. I mean, to me, my thing is, it's almost like let him get that chemistry with Michael Thomas. Let him get that chemistry with Chris Olave, Shaheed. I mean, guys like A.T. Perry and those other guys that are back there, I think, you gradually bring them in when you can. But I think it's very important to establish that chemistry, man. I think that's why we see those same guys grouped in there like that.
Yep. So, I mean, look, the offense was clicking, and I don't know, I'm proud of what they did. But do you think it was more the team we played, or we was just better play calling? It was all in one.
I think play calling, offensive line help. I mean, Carr was dropping dimes, man. I mean, he threw the ball really well. I mean, there was some. I mean, Olave that right off the helmet. Juwan had a shot at the touchdown. I mean, everything. I mean, to me, he was on point. He was 19 of 27 for 300 yards. So the efficiency was there. 2 touchdowns. I mean, the dude, his deep ball looked really good. His intermediates looked good. I mean, he got rid of the ball fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this was by far his best game. I mean, there's nobody's going to argue that.
And let's tell you, I mean, you could throw 300 yards a game like he did for the last 2. But if you're not producing in between the 20 and the goal line, then that extra lane you have 300-400 yards you throwing, if you can't get the ball in the end zone, I mean.
You know what the difference was, though? The difference was, almighty difference, was play calling.
Yeah.
Inside the red zone.
Yeah, that's what
you're not running 3 guys in the same area. You had guys intermediate, you had guys short, you had guys long.
Yeah.
They were stretching the field a lot more. They were using the entire field instead of just running. I mean, the announcers criticized us. They're running 3 or 4 guys deep, or they're running 1 check down on every play. It was basic shit. The play calling got creative.
But I mean, I can't. I mean, I don't disagree with you and Darren saying that y'all think Ronald Curry had a lot more to do with the play call.
Oh, he had to.
I'm sorry, man. I don't see them doing that to Pete Carmichael. I'm sorry.
I think Pete was jamming to like some kind of 80s like soft rock or something. They just disconnected him. I think Ronald Curry was on that shit, dude. Dude. I mean, we joke about it, but I think Ronald Curry had some influence there. Something was different about that play calling.
I'm like Darren, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't never give my source up, but I can tell you this is without a shadow of a doubt a fact. Pete Carmichael wanted to retire after last year. They would not let him. They begged him to come back.
I think Dennis Allen had that comfort, with Pete. They were both assistants for such a long time. I mean, I think, you got a new quarterback coming to town. Dennis Allen knows this is a make or break year. I mean, this is it for him. He doesn't have it next year.
So
if he doesn't make the playoffs this year, his coaching career is over.
I'm telling you the way it goes. I'm not saying he's not calling play calls. I'm not saying I agree with Colin with Pancho. There's no execution. But I'm telling you right here, right now, Pete Carmichael would not be on the Saints staff next year. No doubt.
Probably not. I mean, I could agree with that.
That's I mean, that's a 90-10 in your favor, So, I mean, it was rough what we seen, and what we seen last game was something totally different. So we have to assume that Ronald Curry is playing the calls. I don't think. How
can you say that, though, Pancho? I mean, Pete Carmichael had the clipboard in his hand.
It was Halloween, dude. He was dressed up.
He had the headset on. I mean,
I'm telling you, bro, he was jamming some lady in red or something up in there.
But Pancho, you know as well as I do, you have insight too. We all do. Don't you think that would have kind of leaked out?
No.
Why not?
What you mean, why not? People were already calling for the dude's job. They're trying to let him finish.
Yeah.
So
I think like Darren made a great point. Me and another buddy of mine talked about that same thing. They letting him save face and they're gradually pushing Curry into that role.
He don't want to save face. He wants out.
No, listen.
I mean, if that was the case, he would have just resigned.
Richie, he's getting paid big money right now just to sit there.
Pancho, I'm telling you 1,000%. He wanted to retire.
He's too young to retire.
I mean, Richie, here's the thing. He may have, but I think Curry's coming, he's growing into that role. He's becoming a play caller in this league. And I think this is his first taste of it because those plays, listen, man, like, and I've said this, and this isn't me all defending Carr every week, but you've been moving the ball. It's not like you're putting up, 100 yards passing every week. Carr had some 300-yard games and it was only getting one touchdown out of it. So to me, it was always about getting over the hump. Getting over that hump in the red zone, and you just saw a lot better play calling. I mean, how many times I bitched about Taysom not getting enough touches? He had 9 carries, 63 yards. They were using him in the red zone.
But Pancho, you also said just because we don't agree with the play call, if the play is called, you still have to execute it.
Yeah, that's true. You got to execute.
But bad play calling leads to bad results, in my opinion. You got to put your players in the best position to win.
Dave, if David Ross calls for high and outside, like
my boss Slugger's
that's not a play calling problem. That's an execution problem.
No, but dude, the play calls were bad. I mean, the play calls, when you have announcers spotting it out, when you have the announcers calling and say, hey, they're running nothing but this route, you're seeing 2 guys in the same place running the wrong route, or either it's a horrible design or somebody's missing an assignment somewhere.
Dave, my boss Slugger comment, I can't comment on the Saints game. I didn't watch it. I used that time to take a nap on Sunday. Well, guess what, Slugger?
Hey.
Take another nap this Sunday.
Look,
very winnable game this week.
Listen, and that's that is your casual college fan will say something like that.
What
he just said
about the comment?
Yeah, about the about the Saints and he's LSU guy, this and that.
Oh, he's an LSU guy, no doubt. But he's a closet Saints fan, Pancho. Don't let him fool you.
Tailgating, bro, about the LSU fans, bro.
What's up, Joey?
Remember they bought out our whole tailgate section, parking lot, parked the RVs, put the LSU flags high in the sky, stepped out with their button down purple and gold.
You can't rep the visor. You can't rep the visor with the mandals and the khaki shorts. You lose your man card when you do that. For all of you watching, do not come out with an LSU visor, khaki shorts, and a polo with mandals on. You need to be just fucking thrown off a boat somewhere. They need to send you to fucking another country to battle or something. I mean, I don't know what you need to do.
That's at a Saints game. And then when the Saints would lose, they would walk in a concourse chanting the LSU chant. You would hear every game when we used to leave. And that to me turned me off of being an LSU fan. I
agree. I'm right there with them on that.
I don't pull I pull for LSU, but I'm not.
Well, we got LSU's finals on here, Darren.
No, and dude, I agree with what Pancho's saying, but I respect the hell out of LSU, and I mean I know Pancho's the same way.
All know. Listen, let's keep it real. Pancho is keeping it 100% real, and we all know this. There is a difference between LSU fans and Saints fans. You have some like Darren that love LSU, love Saints.
And the Saints,
I used to be the same way till Pancho just brought it up. Till that debacle with Katrina, till the debacle with the LSU fans coming over to take over the Saints parking lots and the corporate and everything else. It's always been a divide between the fan culture of LSU.
Right. So Baton Rouge doesn't take interest in the Saints until we hit the playoffs. When we hit the playoffs, Baton Rouge comes to, they come and spend a little bit of money this way.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, we were evacuated, and they were selling more Jake Delhomme jerseys with the Panthers than they were selling Saints players jerseys when we were evacuated that way. I was in Lafayette for like a month, dude. And I mean, it's crazy. Acadiana, Baton Rouge, there was more love for other teams like the Cowboys, the Panthers, because Delhomme was there. The Saints were getting shit on after Katrina.
Listen, people don't want to talk about it, that debacle that happened in Baton Rouge.
Oh, no, but after 2006, in 2009, they all at Shreveport even became big Saints fans. You know what I mean? That was basically Cowboys country for so many years.
If you wasn't there, Dave, Pancho, and maybe Darren, I don't know, they can tell you we were there for the Saints games in Baton Rouge, and the people of Baton Rouge treated Saints fans like shit.
It was almost like you were in another city. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't even think you were in Louisiana, an hour away from the dome.
We were told go back to New Orleans, go back and drown in the dirty water. I mean, Pastor, you were there, you know.
Yeah, let's get back to the games.
Let's do this.
We can spend like a whole hour and a half on that documentary.
Yeah. So listen, look.
It ain't that I'm not an LSU fan. I just, the same respect wasn't shown.
Yeah, no. Actually, let's stay on that right now because Joseph just brought up a great point. How is Jaden Daniels ranking right now in the Heisman race? I think he should be number 1.
He's pretty high.
What'd you think, Coach?
If LSU was undefeated, it wouldn't even be a competition.
There you go.
So look, let's dive into that a little bit too. Let's dive into that game. Big game this weekend, man. Big game. LSU at Alabama. You got the spread over there. You got the spread. What's the spread? What they giving LSU? What they giving them? 3, 2. What you got, Dan? Look at it.
I didn't looking, bro.
I'll get it for you. 2 seconds.
What?
2 seconds.
3.5.
3.5.
LSU's getting 3.5.
Yeah.
I'll take Alabama minus 3.5.
You're gonna take it?
I'll take Alabama minus 3.5. Our defense can't keep up.
All right, so you know, look, let's dive into that game for a little bit. I mean, you know, I've watched all the LSU games this year. I don't know if y'all have. I know Darren has. I know Dave has caught a few. I don't know how much Pancho caught, but I will tell you this much right now, and I'm gonna be totally honest with y'all right now. I think even the way the LSU's defense is playing right now, and this is just my opinion, I think LSU is one of the hottest teams in college football right now.
They are. They just a team that can't put it together. As far as again, you can score 1,000 points, but you got to be able to stop 1,001 points.
The defense
right.
hasn't
I was going to say the
been
same thing. Offensively, they are. Offensively,
but the defense. But Darren, I think you would agree with me. The defense hasn't been as bad as it was.
They're not playing the teams that they played either.
No,
yeah, I mean, Ole Miss kind of went to town on them, man. I mean, after that game, you've had, like Ponch said, you've had some lesser opponents.
What's up, Steve?
I mean, it's going to be another test this weekend.
Go ahead, Darren.
Go ahead, Darren.
Yeah, man. I just feel like our offense is really good, but 2 or 3 stops when our defense can't keep up, that's 10, 17 points right there. So unfortunately, I would love to see us beat Bama 2 years in a row, since the last quarterback to do that, to beat Nick Saban 2 years in a row, was Drew Brees. But I don't see it happening.
I don't. Go ahead, Pancho.
Brian Kelly had called in one of the top, if not the best, defensive coach in the league, defensive line coach in the league, and Pete Jenkins. So he had called him in the previous to this game. So Pete Jenkins, he is the king of all defensive linemen. There's not a better coach than Pete Jenkins out there. So if Pete, you got the stable of horses in-house. But if Pete Jenkins can't turn his D-line around, nobody can do it. Pete Jenkins is a bad dude. So hopefully him coming in, he gets all the respect in the world. So hopefully he can turn his D-line around, get some pressure. And LSU's not going to any championship game, but hopefully you can make him some kind of relevant, at some point this season.
Right. You're not playing in the Raising Cane's Bowl or something, I mean, that's you're trying to get into a respectable bowl. But I mean, you're going to have to win this game. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's a do or die right here.
Yes, we're sitting here.
I'm responding to Elton Humphrey. So Elton says LSU defense is better than Colorado. I would hope so, because on Colorado's team, you got 1 or 2 stars. You might have some guys that aren't supposed to be there. You're dealing with. You can't compare nothing to Colorado.
Well, no, you need to give that about 2 or 3 years before we make a fair comparison with that.
You're not Colorado. You got to compare them to somebody who's been more established, the USCs of the world, that are, Nebraska's, or, the team that's been established. You can't go off of Colorado.
What up, Cooch?
Nebraska, but Nebraska.
Well, listen, everybody, we know everybody here is watching the LSU games, but I've watched most of the Alabama games this year too. And listen, they're not that disciplined on defense right now themselves.
Right. Richie, look, I haven't caught a lot of Alabama, but I've heard from a friend of mine that it looks like they're starting to kind of heat up as well the last few weeks offensively.
But they still have so much inconsistency at the quarterback position with them. They've been
Right.
back and forth with the quarterback, and they finally decided on one guy finally, but they are so inconsistent at the quarterback position. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to be honest with y'all guys, and I'm going to tell you right now. My opinion, I think LSU wins this game walking away.
Ooh.
Before Darren comments, if the LSU's defense can hold Alabama to 24 or under, LSU wins this game walking away. That I believe 24 is the magic number. So if you can keep Alabama to that breaking point, you're going to score 35, 42. You're going to scoring that normally. You're going against Alabama's defense. So you can get in 28 to 32. You keep them at 24. I think that's going to be the key number on the defense.
What you think, Darren?
I agree. I agree completely. And I do agree that we brought in a good defensive line coach. But listen, do we have them horses like we used to have? I know we're going to bring in some guys. We have like 1 or 2 big guys coming in next year. That's going to be on the D-line. But do we have that this year? Do we have that? That's the question.
You got 4 and 5 stars there, or 4 stars. You just got to get the talent out of them. And
what about the defensive backs, though? What about these DBs that have been beaten up on many times this year?
Well, once you get the pressure, the back end.
I mean, it'll help. It'll help. But, I mean, we keep hearing about these undersized DBs and just not doing their thing. I mean, the pressure will help. But I'm saying I think that's still a little bit of an issue as well.
Well, no, we sitting here bashing LSU's defense, but people right now are commenting, and it's true. Alabama's O-line is horrible.
And that's a weird thing to say, because how many years have they produced, so many guys going in high rounds?
This is not the same Alabama team as old. I'm telling you, it's not.
Does it come down to the SEC being a little bit of a down year this year? And I mean, other conferences really stepping up.
When's the last time the SEC wasn't ranked number 1? The AP, it came out today.
Yeah.
Ohio
That's what I'm saying. It's definitely a little bit of a change, a little tilt going on this year.
What?
That ranking's trash.
The ranking's trash? What do you mean?
Ohio State shouldn't be number 1. Georgia still should be number 1. They never lost in 2.5 years.
I promise you, I'm telling you right now. I said this a while back, and I'm sticking to it. I still think Oregon's in the national championship.
I think Ohio State's going to be in that mix, though. I mean, Oregon, I could see them sneaking in, but I mean, there's some other teams that's kind of, lingering around. But Ohio State, man, I mean, very impressive win over Penn State, and I mean, look, Michigan, that's still the game.
What Dave is trying to say, the SEC isn't what it used to be right now. Not saying it can't be next year, but
it's a down year.
I agree.
Okay. That's all. That's
all
we're
it can very well bounce back next year and just look ridiculous. I mean, right now it just looks like an off year. I mean, it should happen. You see it with teams, conferences, divisions.
We may be seeing the first phases of this transfer protocol really taking its effect on the SEC.
That's an interesting show in itself, right there,
because
Richie.
I tell you what, if you look at the teams out of these different conferences and their top players, a lot of these guys are transfers from the SEC conference.
Oh yeah. I mean, look. How many guys that go from somewhere that they transfer to another smaller school or get more of an opportunity? I mean, you see players all the time do it. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's just crazy how much college football has changed dramatically.
I mean, look, Burrow was a transfer. I mean, it went the other way, but I mean, you might start seeing it go the reverse way. With this new system. I mean. Transfers happen, dude, and they're having a major effect on the game.
So Darren, we way past the halfway point right now in college. So as of right now, I know you said the rankings was trash. As of right now, who are your top 4 teams in college football?
I'm going to go with Georgia as number 1.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Ohio State is 2.
I would go with that.
That's what I said. I can't stand that they let them jump like that.
I know. I agree.
I would have to put Michigan at 3, and I would have Washington at 4.
The only thing I would change on there, I think you have to put Michigan there because we all talked about this too, of all the returning players that Michigan has. I mean, they stacked and they should actually be ranked higher. But to me, the only team I would move out, I would put Oregon in my top 4. Dave, what you think?
I mean, I could see the case for both sides. I mean, I really, man, Ohio State. I'll tell you, man, we talk a lot of fantasy, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if this guy, but I mean, we know who we all talking about here. Marvin Harrison, to me, dude, is like the most. I mean, I know Jamar Chase, Jefferson, those guys came out. I think this kid's going to be a superstar from day one, man.
I can't keep up with all these comments coming in, man. These comments, y'all keeping up with these comments? Jesus.
Hey, by the way, what's going on with the Pels game tonight, dude? Because Bally has really screwed me royally. The last 2 games, I'm having trouble with my app, dude, and I had to go reset all this bullshit tonight.
Spread? You want the spread?
No.
What's going on with the Pels right now? Pels are winning or losing or what? They're in Oklahoma City.
Let's see something right quick.
I know BI's out.
I gotta check it for you. I gotta check it.
Hey, so Joey, my friend Joey says they take Oregon over Washington.
36-49, OKC.
Ugh, man, no BI again, man. That Brandon Ingram absence is killing him right now.
What you said, Darren? I'm sorry.
I'm reading these comments. Let's see. It says Joey says that he would take Oregon over Washington. Josh said Oregon should be top 4.
Yep.
I think it's their coach, man. That well-coached football team, very physical team.
Listen, Darren, I'm telling y'all right now, and I can't stand Oregon. Look, just like y'all hate Alabama, I hate Oregon. Trust me.
I don't hate Oregon. They got a good kid. They got a good kid from Picayune that plays on their team. One of Shane's good people.
Yeah.
Shane knows the kid really good. Young man, good kid, real respectable. I can't wish nothing bad on Oregon though.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, to me, I just think Oregon in the end will be in that championship game. That's just my opinion.
Hey man, I want to shift gears a little bit with you guys. Were you guys surprised about the trade deadline? Because man, that was we were talking a lot about that last show, man. Were y'all surprised it went down the way it did anywhere?
Darren's got a college story. Go ahead.
What you got?
Good.
I said, hold on. Somebody asked this and says, I don't agree with this. How does Oregon get in over Washington? That's what somebody's asking.
They don't. Washington beat Oregon.
Okay, so Oregon can't be in the top 4 then, right?
No.
I guess good point. Yeah. There we go.
No, we're just saying I just said I would have Oregon in my top 4.
Hey, the young man's name Dante Dowdwell. I'm pretty sure I screwed that up, but yeah, he's from Picayune.
Okay.
Yep, he is.
All right.
Good guy. Good. So Dave, get back to what you said. You was asking about the trade deadline.
So the trade deadline, I mean, look, we're going to be facing one of those guys this Sunday. I mean, Montez Sweat, the Commanders are basically kind of giving up on that defense. I mean, Chase Young going to San Francisco. I know we talked about that. We kept saying, hey, this is going to be a good podcast topic. We talked about San Francisco the last 2 years making these monumental trades, getting Christian McCaffrey last year, this year getting a guy like Chase Young, who hasn't, been the same guy of late, but he's got a lot of potential, and he reunites with Bosa over there. I mean, were you guys surprised with anything with the trade deadline? I mean, I didn't think the Saints were doing much, but was there any moves that didn't happen that you thought was going to happen?
You wanted Winston James to get traded so bad.
We could have got a pick for him. Absolutely. Why not? Why? If I could have got a 3rd round pick or a second, shit. I'm sorry, dude. Good luck.
I agree with that, but for a 5th or 6th round,
I mean, no, you got to really think that through. You got to think something like that.
I'm gonna continue to say this, and I thought he might have got traded. I'm telling you right now, I think Jameis Winston will sign a new deal with the Saints as a backup next year. I'm sorry.
Richie, did you see what that cap sheet looks like for us next year, though? That's the problem.
It looks bad.
He would have to take a massive pay cut. He would have to take a significant pay cut.
Yeah,
because a high-priced backup quarterback's a luxury, kind of. I mean, I think our cap sheet's just a total mess, man. We're gonna have to do some significant cost cutting.
Thank you, Fatty. Yeah, listen. Lance asked, and that surprised me too. Why didn't the Titans move Henry?
That's to me like the question of the day, right there. As far as when we're talking about the trade deadline, it seemed like it was just. I mean, he's almost 30 years old. I think the problem is a team not really knowing their own damn identity. Mike Vrabel and those guys inside. The war room over there, really thinking that there's something. I mean, Will Levis had that good game, 4 touchdowns. That's great. But you got Tajay Spears, you got Okonkwo, you got Treylon Burks. I mean, build towards your future. Get a high pick for Henry, man. I mean, if you can get a second for Derrick Henry, you move on. I mean, you're not winning anything, Tennessee. And it is just this cocky attitude of Vrabel thinking that he can come out and win. I mean, dude, you're like the 10th best team in the AFC. You ain't going nowhere, dude. So, I mean, you should have gave up, let the kid go, let Derrick Henry get a chance to go win a ring and go get some draft stock and build your future, you know? I mean, you already got Will Levis taking over. Why not?
Go ahead, Darren.
Go ahead, Darren.
I mean, you got to remember something. A lot of these guys that they signing or they trading away, it isn't just they getting a trade. So what? Do you really want to get Derrick Henry for what? 6 more games? He's at the end of his contract. So therefore, he can walk again next year. You know, same thing when I think it was Chase Young. You know, a lot of these cats, you know, they trading them, they get stuff for them now.
But what I think,
and you're right. It's a risk when it's involved when these guys aren't under a new deal next year.
But I think if in the right situation, you could trade Derrick Henry to the right team, and he can help the team right now.
Listen, you don't trade Cam Jordan, you don't trade Derrick Henry, you don't trade.
Why not?
Lifelong guys that's
not why. But Pancho, I don't think they did it for that reason. I don't think they held Henry because I think his contract's up.
Pancho, you need to stop. Pancho, you need to stop with the loyalty thing. I do not believe in it.
Listen, at the end of your career, where they're at, they would rather work out a deal to stay in that situation rather than take a couple of dollars and move on to another place. You got to uproot your family. You got to buy a house. Move on.
Why didn't Tom Brady have a problem doing it?
Tom Brady was dicking and diving and ready to move. He's been 20 years in the same place, and him and Bill Belichick didn't see eye to eye.
But Pancho, Darren answered the question. Darren kind of said it right from the start. A team doesn't want to give up high draft capital when you're losing a guy anyway. Like if Henry was signed for maybe 2 or 3 more years, and you know what I'm saying, you have that. Yeah, he could walk. You could give up a 2nd-round pick, and like you said, basically use him as a rental, and then he's gone elsewhere. He might sign on with another contender or go back to Tennessee if he really wants to do what you're saying. So, I mean, I think that's why those trades don't happen sometimes because of what's existing on that contract.
Hey, so listen, Shane said, as a Raider fan, we should have traded Devontae and Jacobs to get draft picks to build the future, and thank God for the firings today.
Yeah, I think, dude, how bad is that freaking organization right now? And I agree with him on Devontae Adams. I think I would have held Josh Jacobs, but Devontae Adams should have been that's one of those guys to me that it didn't make any sense for them to hold on to.
What about Max Crosby?
Boy, Crosby's a maniac, man. I love that guy. If I'm a Raiders fan, I don't want to lose that guy.
Oh, God,
man.
That dude annoys.
Hey, he's right now. He's playing like an elite ender, man. Like he's one of the top 5 in his position.
Right now, you got $4 million under the cap, 4.6, and then next year you're 71 over.
Who's that? Who we talking about, Pancho? The Raiders?
The Saints cap. So you 71.
Oh yeah, the Saints cap's a clusterfuck going forward.
We were like what 150 going into it this year, under. I mean,
that money's going to start kicking in.
We're over 150 this year. So next year we're over 71. 2025 we're $120 million in the green. So you can push some of that 2024 numbers back to.
And that's what Mickey's got to do his thing there.
Fresh. You don't have anything in books on 25. 24, you got 71, which you can spread or cut some of that. So I mean, you're starting back over again. Hopefully after next year with a fresh cap. So Mickey will be able to move some things around. That's why believe me, I don't think he wants to rebuild. I don't think he sees any. As long as he can get young and old at the same time. And replace the young with the old and let the old teach the young, then you kind of become the Bill Belichick.
What up, Ryan?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, Pancho, we didn't have that same bad situation. Like, I mean, Chris does a show with us, but like Houston, they had to tear it down because it was such a clusterfuck. They had to like tear it down and start from the bottom. I don't think we were more of like a retool than a rebuild, if that makes any sense, because we got good young talent in place. We got some veterans that are in place that can still play for a couple more years.
Lance just posted, man. He said it. He said it's time not to stop kicking the can down the road and rebuild. That's it. That's all it's doing.
I mean, look, here's the crazy thing though about the Saints, and I wanted to bring this stat up real quick before we get into something. Dennis Allen, I don't know if you guys watched the whole TikTok thing, the video, the post game locker room talk. Yeah. But listen, man, it's not like it's like we're talking like the sky's falling, but this team's 4-4. They're right there in the hunt for first place. I mean, offensively, I think he said it was the first time since 2018 that the Saints went 3 straight games with over 400 yards of total offense, which was a little surprising for me. But, I mean, you're showing some signs of improvement, some encouragement. You know what I mean? I mean, your defense right now is still technically is top 5 in the league in yards per game. Your offense is really showing some positive signs. You're getting healthier. I mean, look, dude. I don't think the sky is falling. Let's go get hot. We got a very winnable game this Sunday. You have no business not blowing these guys out.
We can't go into this game this Sunday and even remotely play with this team.
Oh yeah, no. This could be trap written all over it. I mean, we always talk about trap games. The trap games is those games where you're looking at the Bears. I mean, they got some Division II guy playing quarterback. Their pass defense is terrible. You know, I mean, they got a lot of holes all over the field. You know, this is a team you got to beat at home. You know what I mean? And you got to take care of business. No screw up. No turnovers. No blown coverages. No special team gaffes. You know, you got to come out and play a solid game.
Like Darren said early in the broadcast, like if you're going to send shots at somebody at the beginning of the game, it's this guy. You send in the house and you making him make a decision. And
he's thrown 3 picks already. Yeah.
You know, I'm putting 7 on the line and rushing 6 or 7. And he has to pull the trigger on something.
Well, listen, hey,
Darren, how would you approach this game with the Bears? Like being pageant, you see, if you watched the previous game, it wasn't good at all. What would you do with somebody like this, or against somebody like this?
Well, you got to remember something. First off, you put pressure on them. Pressure breaks pipes. That's the first things first. Second off, once you start putting pressure on them, then you show pressure. And you don't bring pressure. That's going to mess his head up even more. And you make him beat you through the ball. You know what I mean? I think that we have good enough defense that, we can do some smoke screens, act like we come in sometimes, send some delayed blitzes, really mess his head up with that. You know what I mean? That defense will be better than what it is. I don't know if y'all seeing this, but we got a lot of comments coming in.
I'm trying to get to them.
Go to him, man.
Listen, let's comment right now, my boy. Look, Steven made a great point. He said, let's keep Andrews Peak where he performs better at and should be at tackle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's balling, dude. He's playing out of his mind.
Ryan, my boy Ryan just said, did we see the comparison today to AK to CMC?
The numbers are pretty damn close, man.
Numbers are pretty damn close. Yes.
Yeah, very surprising.
I would have lost my money. I thought Christian McCaffrey had about 800 more rushing yards.
and Darren, I would agree, and I would also say that another factor is Kamara's done it for a team that's won more than what McCaffrey has.
Listen, we're getting comments too about other games. We got to dive into other stuff around the NFL too.
Okay,
Joshua asked, do we think the Bills make the playoffs? Yes.
Yeah, I say yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I like Buffalo. They got a weird inconsistency that goes on. They made a trade as well. They got Rasul Douglas. I thought it was a good move because their secondary has been pretty banged up. So I mean, I think that team's good at the end of the day. I think they're going to be one of the teams that get at least to the divisional playoff round.
I think around the league, if people want to dive into it, which it seems like people do, that's fine. We can talk into that. I think the Buffalo Bills are. Man, I'm like with you, Dave. I don't know what to expect with them from week to week. I mean, Darren, what do you see?
I like what they did.
What do you see?
I mean, it's more of Josh Allen letting him do what Josh Allen does. And Josh Allen likes to move the ball. He likes to run the ball. Now, again, it's a catch 2020. You're going to get your head knocked off. You're going to get roughed up. Again, like I told you in the first 2 episodes, you praise the running quarterback. You can live that life. But again, that's why Taysom isn't your QB, I don't believe, because he runs too violent and puts his body too much harm to invest the time at QB snaps. You can't invest. You can invest your time into a running quarterback. When I say that, you invest first snap, you invest everything, your money, your time. Your film study goes to your first reps.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't you think that's on Pond? Don't you think that's on coaching though a little bit? Like
let Darren comment on his friend Shane's comment. You seen that, Darren? From a business standpoint, selling season tickets on a rebuild is hard. I agree with that.
Listen, I got 11 tickets, so you ain't got to.
James, right? But getting on the AFC, listen, KFC is still. I mean, KC is still KC. You know what I'm saying? I'm hungry. I said KFC. KC is still KC. Okay, but I still say
Darren, staying on that.
Let him finish.
Go ahead.
I still say that San Fran is my pick coming out the NFC.
But Darren, staying on what you just said about Kansas City and you being a linebacker yourself, I think the KC defense is severely missing Nick Bolton tremendously.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's elite, man. That guy can play.
And look, I'll be straight up honest with you. The reason they're struggling is because of what they're paying on the other side of the ball at the head of the round. So you can pay that money at that spot, but you're sacrificing a lot.
Patrick Mahomes ain't making top 5 money right now.
But here's my thing, guys. We're acting like this team is not good. This team is still the best team probably in the AFC.
45 million is cheap right now in the NFL, Pancho.
Richie, that's a quarter of your salary.
It's cheap in the NFL right now. Joe Burrow just got 50-something million a year.
Again, it's a quarter of your. Listen, Richie, you got 53 guys on the team. You
said that already. We agree.
You pay a quarter to one person, and then you're between 30 and 53. They're $200,000 a year guys. They struggling to live because the guy at the helm now he's the best.
Well, no, Pancho, they had the same team basically last year though.
Backside on the defensive of you're struggling with the $200,000 guys or the $600,000 guys.
No, but Pancho, they just won a Super Bowl with the same roster.
Yeah, did it work?
But and I know it's going to catch up with you eventually.
I think. I mean, let's be real. This last game, Mahomes, I don't know if he had the shits or whatever was going on, but that dude was supposedly he wasn't even supposed to play. I mean, he was pretty damn ill. I don't know what he had going on, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know if Taylor Swift gave him some bad chili or something, her and the wife or something, Brittany. But look, dude, something was going on with Mahomes before that game. He wasn't himself.
I mean, go ahead, Darren.
He had the flu.
Yeah, he had the flu. I mean, dude, yeah, he bounces back. Dude. That team's legit.
Listen, here we go. Josh said a lot. Josh is a good friend of mine. He is the owner of the Gulf Coast Raiders, Mississippi Gulf Coast Raiders.
Yeah,
he's a big fan. He said lots of injuries. Milano and White's out for the year. Then Shane, who is the head coach of the Raiders, also a very good friend of mine, said talk about a team that looks great running the no huddle. The Bills run it amazingly. Lance said the Bengals are looking good. Shane said KC dropped the ball, not going after a big wide receiver. Josh agreed.
Yeah.
Joey said Bengals look like a totally different team versus San Francisco. He thinks that they'll be in the AFC Championship game. Shane agreed. Pat had the flu and it was like 30 degrees out. Somebody said Eagles out the NFC. That'll be Joey and Richie. Somebody said Richie, I may make my first game Sunday, bro. That was Steven.
Yeah, Steven did.
Let's see what else.
I'm missing my first game Sunday.
Hey, what about a team that we're not talking about, y'all? There's a team we're not talking about, and I mean, all these dudes seem to do is win, and it's weird because I've always been, hey, this guy can't get over the hump, and we've talked about him before, but go back to Baltimore, man. What about Baltimore? Like, it feels like they're just like this sleeping giant, man. Like, we don't put them in that area with the Chiefs, the Bengals, or the Bills, but it's like, man, Baltimore is like right there, like hanging around.
Like, so what you have noticed, a lot of these games, it's either all in or they're getting like Pat Mahomes, either you're stomping them or you're getting stomped. One or two, there's no middle of the road. Josh Allen is stomping people or he's getting stomped. So there's not any consistency at quarterback from a lot of people, from Aber, from Burrow. A lot of people is it the short season? But I mean, the most consistent person was Carr at the time, but it wasn't a good consistent. But other than that, I mean, your quarterback play has been.
Wait, what you mean with Carr being the most consistent? What's going on with that?
I mean, not putting up any numbers. I mean,
well, dude, I don't know. You look at his numbers next to Jimmy Garoppolo, Ryan Tannehill. There's a lot of quarterbacks that are way worse than Derek Carr's numbers on the year.
Three touchdowns ain't going to move the needle. So
he's got 8. What has he got? 8 touchdowns, 9 touchdowns now, 4.
Well, now,
I mean, but we got to give this guy a little. I mean, there's quarterbacks having way worse years than Derek Carr. I'm just saying, like, Mac Jones is awful. I mean, Ryan Tannehill's gone already.
I'm with him right now. Like
Garoppolo's bench.
Well, let me ask y'all this record. Y'all talking about quarterbacks. Who do you think's playing better football right now at the quarterback position? Zach Wilson or Blake or Purdy? What you got?
I'd still go with Purdy, man. I think Purdy's just having a rough couple of weeks with turnovers, but the grand scheme of things, it'll be Brock Purdy.
Listen, it's crazy.
I'm gonna throw a whole wrench in this. I think Purdy isn't as good as you think he is. Now
I'm
he's
starting to believe
sufficient.
that too, Pancho.
Listen,
I'm agreeing with you.
He's sufficient. What I seen last game, a lot of rushing 3 and dropping back 8. He had a lot of problems with that. They were stacking the line, 6 or 7 on the line, and then they was dropping back 8, keeping 3. And for the last couple, he can't get past that. And he makes some plays here and there.
Go ahead, Darren.
When Pancho's done, I'll go.
No, yeah. So I was just saying again, Debo is a big pitcher here. I just think with the game tape on Purdy, he's athletic, but he's not athletic enough. He is your Drew Brees that will sit there and pick you apart if you allow him to. But I think if you confuse him with dropping some DBs back, like you seen the last game, in the last 2 games, he had fits. It's just too much going on. And I think that might be something, now, if he can run, you can't rush 3. That's what was going on at Mahomes at one point in time. That's what people were doing. They was rushing 3, dropping 8, and he was having issues. But once you start taking off with your legs, you can't rush 3. You got to have a good 5 at the line.
Go ahead, Darren.
All right, so 1, Purdy was hurt. Like 3 weeks ago, he got hurt. He got banged up. He still played through. 2, he was on concussion protocol all last week.
Right.
He did have a concussion, but he passed. If anybody played football
right.
with a concussion, or even with just a headache, listen, it's really, really tough. I think at this present minute, in the last 3 weeks, I'm going to give the edge to Wilson playing ball better right now. As a whole, that team's playing better. Then there's not as many injuries on.
Darren, don't you give a lot of credit to the coach and the Silas?
The what?
Don't you give a lot
Robert
of credit
Saleh,
to Robert Saleh? Don't you give a lot of credit to him?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, listen, he loves the game of football. You know, there's a difference between a football coach and somebody who loves the game of football. Like prime example, the guy that's in here right now, Shane Anderson. Listen, there's no reason why that guy shouldn't be coaching somewhere making money. Me and Shane make a great combo. You know, he's a head coach, but he loves football. You know, Robert loves football. You know, there's a difference. You know, like Bill Belichick, he's a football coach. He don't love football. He don't care about football. You know what I mean? Let's see. Y'all kiss my ass. Don't want to reply to what I say. Hold on. Let's see what Cooch said. He's crying.
I don't know what he said, bro.
Hold on. I'm going to look at it. But listen, getting back to what I'm saying, Cooch, re-comment it, and I'll answer it
I'm
for you.
I'm going to go what he said. I'm going to go with
He's saying Brock Purdy is a system quarterback. That's what he said.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Shanahan, he's a good quarterback, but Shanahan helped put that kid over the top.
I can't argue that point about Cooch saying Purdy's a system. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I don't know if he would only be good at that system, but Shanahan puts you over the top. I mean, and let's be real, Debo's out right now. I mean, that team's got to get back to running the ball a little bit more effectively. I mean, look, like Darren said too, I mean, this kid's been banged up. We're trying to find some reason to hate on a kid. He's had a couple rough weeks. They'll bounce back, dude. He's got the right play call. He's got the right talent around him.
Well, listen,
It'll
but
happen.
Darren, you made it. But go ahead, Darren.
One question.
What's up, Kenny?
If Brock Purdy is a system quarterback, then why did Jimmy G not succeed in the system quarterback?
Because
he was 10-2, I believe.
And he couldn't stay healthy.
He could stay healthy.
Oh, whoa. Don't give that excuse. He can't stay healthy because Purdy's banged up too.
What's up, John?
Well, I'll say this. Well, look, I'll say to Darren's point, Trey Lance didn't work out, so that it can't be just a system thing. I mean, because Trey Lance had an opportunity. It wasn't long, but he did have an opportunity.
I mean, it's not a hidden fact that the West Coast is being run through that. I mean, you've seen that helm pass from Montana to Young, and I mean, that's great quarterbacks, but they all been in that West Coast system. You notice the West Coast system does produce good quarterbacks if you can work the system. If you can work within the system, then yeah.
Now, I don't know
if you don't have a guy that can do film and understand the West Coast, like Darren to tell you, if he read an offensive play out, you would probably be the most confused. You'd probably feel like you'd be in kindergarten, and from organization to organization, then play calls change the routes of the name.
I don't agree with Cooch just said though, Pancho. He said he don't think he could start on another team.
No,
I don't think it. But honestly, Richie, I don't think it matters. I don't think it really matters. I think we got a guy, Kyle Shanahan systems complex. Purdy reads defenses quickly. He makes fast decisions. He's accurate. He fits Kyle Shanahan's prototype.
Dave, I used to think that too. But I mean, why can't we blame this on teams actually having film on Purdy now?
I mean, look, no doubt he's got to make adjustments. But like Darren said, I mean, remember this kid's been banged up. I mean, he's missing one of his best targets. Hey, look, he's still a very young quarterback. What's he, 23 years old? So I mean, shit does happen. Teams do make adjustments. So right now, Kyle Shanahan, the mad scientist, has to go back to the drawing board. Well, he'll find ways to get Purdy in a creative place.
Go ahead, Darren.
Hey, it's simple. Shane, you in here, right? So listen to me.
Yeah.
He's a big Raiders fan. Shane, would you take Brock Purdy right now over Jimmy G? Right now, we're gonna find out from somebody else.
Well, I mean, you
Shane just posted,
and
go ahead, Pancho. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You do have an age difference. Again, if you can sustain a defense dropping 8 on Purdy, he looked highly confused. I understand that you're saying he come off the concussion protocol.
And Darren, your question, the answer, Shane said 100% yes.
So. I mean, there you go, right there.
And Pancho, he did run though. Purdy did have a few runs in this game, so he can use his legs. I know we were talking about his rushing ability. He can take off.
Listen, we're also talking about the San Francisco. I get it. Well, let's talk about this fire hot Bengals team too. I mean, come on now. You gotta give them credit. That defense is balling, man, and they got a defensive end that we should have never let go.
We had no choice, Richie. You know why? That's the salary cap situation.
You had a choice of Davenport.
No.
Really?
But Richie, Davenport was on the books. You couldn't just cut him without the
y'all in these salary caps have got to
Richie,
stop.
Richie, the cap matters. Look, Richie, what team doesn't want to have the best players at every position? The reality is you can't. Like Pancho was saying, you got $50 million tied to Mahomes. You can't go get a Pro Bowler everywhere else.
How does Philadelphia keep doing it?
Because they got a young quarterback. The same with San Francisco.
He just signed a $250 million deal.
It's going to go into effect, it's going to go into effect, Richie. That's why Purdy's not making anything as a 7th rounder. That's why San Francisco could go out and get McCaffrey and Chase Young back-to-back years. They have the cap room. John Lynch massaged that thing the right way.
You got a $16 million running back. You got everybody on the O-line is making anywhere between 10 to 15 million. You got Mike Thomas is making 15 million. You got Lattimore that's making money. You got
y'all not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna sit and argue about a cap. I can care less about a cap.
Richie. Let me look. Pancho's right on this.
You got $4.6 million right now under the cap.
So Richie, here's one point I want to make. Go look at San Francisco's quarterbacks, Brock Purdy and Darnold, and I couldn't even tell you who the third guy is. But I guarantee you that overall cap number of their quarterback position on their depth chart is well under $10 million. Look at the Saints by contrast.
Okay. So you're paying,
hold on. Let me get into one point. Give me 30 seconds.
Go ahead.
Derek Carr is over a $30 million cap hit. Taysom Hill, technically a quarterback. He's a nice size cap hit, around $10 or $11 million. You got Jameis Winston at $8 million. So you got the quarterback position alone for the Saints. You're knocking on the door of $50 million in cap value, while the 49ers have probably like somewhere around 5 or 6. So that's where they're able to add those players like Chase Young, Christian McCaffrey, and get these, seriously talented guys in the middle of the season. And the Saints can't do that because of the cap. The cap is very important if you play it the right way.
So listen, we're 4.6 under. Next year, we're $71 million over.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but look at Purdy though. That's what I'm saying. That you have the luxury when you have a 7th round quarterback making no money. You have a cheap backup like Sam Darnold. You can go and splurge in other areas of the field. Richie, that's the difference when we talk about a salary cap. Because the salary cap is the reason why guys like Marcus Williams, Trey Hendrickson, Toronto Armstead left. It's not like we don't want good players on our football team.
But how does Philadelphia continue to do it, though, Dave?
Because Jalen Hurts' contract, that cap number is going to hit next year.
Do the same. I guarantee they're still doing the same thing 3 years from now.
No, Richie, they lost a lot of players. Philadelphia did just lose a lot of players in the offseason.
But they still got top players and top salaries.
Well, Richie, they drafted these guys, and they're using the cap. Howie Roseman's manipulating the cap.
They just traded for a safety from Tennessee who's in his last year of his deal. Guarantee they're about to pay this man.
If anybody could pull up on Spot Track, what's Jalen Hurts' cap figure for this year?
I don't know, but he just signed a new deal. He's up there.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but that deal might have not went in effect till I don't know that offhand. I can't say I know it, but that might have went in effect next year on the cap.
It definitely
And
goes
remember, they did lose a few ball players on
It
different
definitely
sides
goes
of the
into
ball.
effect next year.
So, Richie, as we stand right now, the 49ers are $39 million under the cap.
That's what I'm saying. Richie, it
And how is
matters,
that possible?
Because they have no contract.
because they got a 7th-round quarterback.
Wait,
There's
Richie,
quarterback making $800,000, and ours is making $30 million.
Yeah. Richie, like
Do
I
you
was just
not
talking about
realize
the
the money?
quarterback.
Do you not realize the money they just gave out?
Who?
Purdy is getting $800,000.
Yeah, Richie,
Okay.
like the quarterback spot. Like I just talked about, the Saints have
They
over
just
$50
gave
million
Bosa a big
to
deal.
the
They
cap
just gave Nick
and
Bosa a
quarterback.
big deal. They just gave
No,
Nick
but
Bosa
Richie,
a big deal.
hold on, look, Richie, $50 million
Come on,
is a
dude.
lot of the cap. The Saints have Derek Carr, Jameis Winston, and Taysom Hill as quarterbacks. You have over $50 million in cap
I
hits
get
right
nobody, Dave. I'm not arguing the point that the Saints aren't over the cap. The difference is the other teams use the money on good
there.
players,
But
and we
Richie, yeah,
don't.
because they have the $50 million
No, they have better
surplus that
players.
we don't have. They
Hey,
have a
stop.
surplus we don't have. It's managing
Stop.
a budget. No,
Hey,
Richie, it's the God's honest
hey,
truth. Anybody can tell you on here.
You got a defensive line
Richie,
on the
calm
Saints.
So,
down.
Richie, why would every team not just go get the best players imaginable? You always have to make
Because
sacrifices.
listen,
The
because
Patriots
hear
did
me
it for
out.
years.
Because hear me out. Because you got a Saints defensive line that's getting paid out the wazoo compared to a 49ers defensive line that have much better players.
No, but Richie, it's because they can save money. They're saving
Oh,
$50
my
million
God.
at the quarterback. I mean, Pacha, look, Richie, listen, I don't know. The cap is real. You got to stay
Dave,
below a
Dave,
certain number.
Calm down. So, Richie, you got a DJ business, right? You got 5.
Oh, Pancho, you bring that up all the time. Do you think
No,
the
but
Saints should have gave? So you're sitting there telling me you think the Saints should have gave Ruiz that money? No, they shouldn't have.
No, but
He didn't
Richie, once
deserve
you
it.
do it, you're automatically stuck. You can't just cut him and the money goes away. The
What I'm
money's
saying
on
is,
your
I'm
dead
not saying
cap.
I'm not saying you don't have a salary cap. I'm saying the Saints aren't spending their money wisely on smart, good players.
Well,
that's
Well,
what
no
I'm
shit.
saying.
Yeah, no
That's,
shit.
That's,
Yeah.
that's talent.
Yeah.
And other teams are. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, yeah, of course. That's what we're saying.
So Darren's got something with Darren.
Listen, Shane brought up a great point. He says, mathematically, if you pay one player, one position, more than 16% of your cap, your Super Bowl odds go down. Now, remember
Absolutely.
something.
Absolutely.
Teams like Philly, teams like San Fran, the reason why, Richie, I'm not a big cap guy neither, but you got to remember something. The reason why they'll be able to make these deals is because they don't have a Mahomes or a Burrow or had a Breeze. You get what I'm saying? We are still playing catch up from that. Mahomes is losing people because they're gonna have to play catch up. Burrow, they're gonna lose some people, like probably T. Higgins is probably gone this year.
Right.
So you got to remember something. Nobody likes the cap, but think about it. Jalen Hurts, somebody posted making $13.5 million this year. Okay,
that's why you got these players. Yeah.
So what's Derek Carr making? $30 million this year.
Yeah.
So
that's $16.5 million that we can spend on 1, 2, or 3 more players.
So look, Jalen Hurts this year's cap hit is $6.15 million.
That's insane. That's a backup for us right now. That's any one of our quarterbacks besides Jacob Hayner.
Listen, I'm listening. Several comments that are coming in. I'm agreeing with them. The Saints overpay guys that they should have let go a long time ago.
Well, no shit. But you know what, Richie? And here's another thing. Here's another problem.
No, because you got this fan base that say, "Oh no, don't let him go. Yeah, let him go."
Oh no, absolutely. Look, Richie, there's some bad moves. But one thing I want to bring up that nobody's talking about, nobody's brought this up at all, and I don't know if they're bringing it up in the comments, but you want to know the biggest problem besides making a bad move on a decision to sign a player or re-sign a player is your dead cap money. You're paying guys, Richie, you have so much of your salary cap right now going to guys that aren't here. And when Mickey, look, we love Mickey's ability to manage the numbers. Huh?
We still paying Drew. We still paying.
You're paying guys you're paying a lot of guys on that dead cap, and you're going to keep doing it because it's kicking. And I see what Poncho's saying. In 2 years, it clears up a little bit, but next year your cap is a freaking nightmare because of the money you kick down the road. All these restructures, they don't go away.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Poncho. I'm not disagreeing with Poncho. I agree with you, Poncho, and you're spot on when you say that about the cap. I'm not disagreeing. I agree with you.
You're saying that we should sign better players for the money.
Yeah,
and that's a talent. Again. We signed Jason David. We thought he was good from the outside in. We found out he was a shitty ass.
Great point, Poncho. Great point.
You got Jarius Bird. You thought he was going to come in.
Yep, another
Brandon Browner.
Great point.
Brandon Browner, Junior Gillette. I mean, look, the list goes on and on. Every team does it, but we did it a few more times.
Go ahead, Darren. Go ahead.
Browner was the biggest ever, and Richie, we're gonna need you to take a Valium or something, bro. Listen,
Richie, look, man, look, he gets hyped about the cap, and like, dude, no, I agree, dude. We made some bad decisions, but you know what else we did, and we can't regret it. I've always said this: we can't really like go back on it. We were trying to win another Super Bowl with Drew Brees, and we still had that opportunity, and it did put us in a little bit of a cap situation. But on top of that, there were some bad decisions made.
What Honey Badger's getting?
He's probably
too much.
Mid-30s, 28 to 32, I would say.
Wait, per year? No, I would say
45.
he's about 9. I would say that 9 to 10 million, huh? Somewhere in there.
Yeah, I was talking about his overall contract.
Oh yeah.
Cooch said that we let Marcus Williams go for $45 million, but we signed Honey Badger for almost the same amount. That's not true.
I don't know if I don't think he got the same. I agree, Darren. I don't think he got the same, but he did get a nice bit of money. And to me, Honey Badger was a guy. I mean, let's be real. We love him. He's from he's a New Orleans guy, LSU, but he's not the same player he once was. And we overpaid a little bit there.
Cooch hit that on the head. Truth, honestly, Dave, what you just said was point. I remember that signing when we signed Honey Badger and let Marcus
3 and 42. 3 and 42.
It's 3 and 42. Yeah, that's a bad contract. That's a bad contract.
14 million a year.
Yeah. For a guy that might be the 20th best safety in the league.
Your boy wanted 15 to 17 million a year.
And look, Marcus, and the hard part, Darren, the hard part is Marcus has been kind of banged up. I love Marcus Williams. I think he's a great safety, but he's been kind of banged up since he left. So there's that little bit of hindsight there. But I mean,
you can always kick yourself in the ass.
Right.
Again, but $2 to $3 million difference in a player does. If you can't make that money work, you can't make it work. You gotta ship them out. I mean, and sign the next best guy for $4 million less.
Hey guys, listen, we're gonna change it up a little bit. We're gonna honor our producer Fatty because he's been chiming in and asking. Go ahead, Dan. What you want to say before I get started?
Hey, before you get started with that, listen, we got like 11, 12 people watching. We have so many. Then we got 33 comments. Please make sure y'all hit the like and the share button for us, fellas and ladies.
Yeah. So listen, Fatty wants to dive into it. A lot of people have been commenting and asking. Let's dive into this Colorado. What's going on? I mean, it came out the gate. Let's dive into it. I was a Colorado basher. I'm not gonna sit here and say I told you so. I'm gonna leave that to Fatty because I'm not diving into it. Go ahead, Fatty.
What? That I was right? Okay. I was right. I told y'all at week 3 it was all gonna go downhill. And I said it on this show. It was all going to get worse from here. And Richie, you were the only one that actually agreed with me.
I don't think we ever thought Colorado was anything more than what they were. It was just a really good story.
I don't know.
It was a good story is what it was.
Like, I understood that they were coming into the game with transfers and mishaps and players. Like, you understood they gave a good feeling to a good story. And the story's not over yet.
But they ruined it themselves. It wasn't even that they played bad. It's been everything outside of the game itself with them.
Chris, you got guys that are 18, 19, 20 years old.
It don't matter. I mean, okay. This is the only team acting like asses off. All the teams that have respect for their coach and their team. These dudes are acting like complete asses. And he's not even blaming his kids, dude. I've sent y'all a video with Jason Whitlock said, and Jason Whitlock hit it out the park. Dion is doing this for his sons. This is all it's about.
Why would you not want to coach your sons?
But
that's insane to
that's
me.
All he's doing it for is his son.
So, what's the big deal?
And he's rolling out.
You got.
But look, he's done more.
Other kids you got to worry about and try to make them progress. It's not about.
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't want
but here, hold on one second, guys. But let me ask you this: would you rather be where they are now than what the hell they've been the last 15 years and irrelevant?
We got a coach on the program. When we ask him. Go ahead, Darren.
So, listen, I love Dion as a player. I really don't like what he's doing as far as coaching is concerned because I think he's making a mockery out of a lot of stuff. Like, listen, you don't come on your press conference and bash your players. Like, that is not what you do, especially the players that's covering your son's ass. All right.
Yep.
You bashing the offensive line. That's not the way to do
Amen.
it. But Whitlock said a lot of things that's correct. He seems to think that if you go against Dion and you're a black man, that you're an Uncle Tom. But if you're a white person, he says that they think that you're racist. Listen, I'm no racist, but I do understand where Whitlock is coming from. Listen, the dude only lines up his son. He's got his son throwing all over the place. They abandoned the run game really early. And then look, the last game, they was out of the game by so much. Anybody else would have pulled their players, but not Dion. He kept his son in to pat, the stats.
To win that, to be in a Heisman contention. That's why.
Then the dude comes out.
They got too many losses.
Then he comes out and says they gave him the needle at halftime. What coach tells people that they gave the player a needle?
Dave, listen. I've said it, Dave, and I want you to talk about it. I've said since day one, and people are chiming in and agreeing with me when I said it since day one. Prime has always been about Prime.
Listen, man, I mean, look, I think he matured a little bit as a man, but there's still some of that old Dion there. Let's be real. I mean, that old Dion is still lingering around here. I think he's definitely not as arrogant of a dude as he once was. I mean, remember that dude with MC Hammer on the sideline with the Falcons?
He's worse now. I think he's worse.
I mean, I think
he's not doing it to himself. He's doing it to other people now. He's in charge of those young guys' lives. That's why I was telling Pancho. That's why I get heated when he's like, oh, it don't matter. It's just about his sons. Fuck you. You got 53 other plays you have to worry about.
No,
let me ask you guys this real quick. I got one thing I just want to.
I would have been like, yo, fuck off, coach.
So look, my thing is, I'm not saying fuck the other players. What I'm saying is, as a coach, as Darren, has kids. I mean, that's a dream of yourself. Again, you got other kids affected, but he coached a lot of these kids from day one. He was a little league coach. And
this is not Pee Wee football. This is NCAA 5A.
Wait, let me ask you guys this. So how long has Dion been?
These are grown-ass men.
Go ahead, Pancho, finish.
Good.
But as a man, as a coach, if you watch any of his clips, it's all about his players. It's all about what God has done for him. It's about you can listen. If you put a camera in USC's locker room right now, you go put a camera in LSU's locker room right now with Jalen Daniels. I'm pretty sure you're going to see some arrogancy out of that.
Yes.
Any of the locker rooms, you're dealing with 18, 19-year-olds that have got millions of dollars in their pockets, got every fucking chick in a planet in their college.
But you just hit the nail on the head, Pancho. It's in the locker room.
Listen,
wait, Richie, but here's the problem, Richie. They're under the microscope. They're under the spotlight right now, like Pancho's saying.
And like CNN, like Fox 8, they're going to show you what they want to show you.
Okay, wait. But isn't it? But
Dion should have stepped up as.
Thank you. I was about to say that.
But no, but he does. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? The attention. Hey, look, any publicity is good publicity, and if he gets more and more people to come to that school, I'm just saying.
Darren, do you think that he's handling it the way that it goes about what he's saying, what Fatty is saying? Do you think he's going about it the wrong way? Do you think the the players on that team is some type of jealousy? I mean, what do you think?
Well, one, I don't think after you beat a team, you're supposed to run up and show your watch or whatever the case is. I agree with what Pacho said, that it's in the locker room. Well, I kind of agree with what he says. They're gonna have some arrogance, but it's in the locker room. You get what I'm saying? If in a big old fight, if you just got your ass knocked out in the boxing ring, you can't stand up in the press conference like, I'm the greatest to ever do it and show my watch. Like, that shit's for the birds. Just like, all of a sudden, 2 years in a row now, their locker room gets robbed. 2 years in a row. First was at Jackson State, now it's at Colorado.
Hey, what does that say? It tells me somebody on the inside's doing some dirty shit there.
Job. I think it's the inside job.
I was about to say that tells me inside job all the way.
All
right, so look, hey, we got some comments though, y'all.
Go ahead, come on, keep us up. Go down, let's go.
Let's not forget how much the media hyped up Sanders for the Heisman conversation.
That's done.
Coach said the dude can play. You can't take that away from him, which he can play. Shane said Colorado is the poster child showing how the media makes people think an okay team is better than what they are.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Now,
Somebody said Prime is all about himself. Cooch said you can't run. They can't run the O-line as bad, and they knew it. Right, but listen, Cooch, you played ball. Even as a bad offensive line, you still have to do it because if you become one-dimensional, then guess what?
I like this one comment though, Darren. It says the NCAA and NFL, the NFL is bringing the program down to the college versus the college should be stepping up the game to the NFL. That's a true fact.
I agree.
True. And look, so Cooch says, face it, fellas, this is your new college football. This is what happens when you let them get paid. That's true. Then Shane says, Darren knows like I do. What happens or gets said in the locker room stays in the locker room.
Amen.
Listen, no women and no children's allowed in the locker room at halftime for me, especially if the defense ain't playing good, and especially if we're not on the same page. Me and Shane's about to tear their ass up.
And you don't say what player got the needle.
First of all, Darren, you've been coaching.
No, man, you don't say what player took a pain pill or got the needle. And at the end of the game, if you're given a press conference or somebody's asking you something, you don't blame like, oh, it's the offensive line fault or this or that. Listen, your son overthrew somebody. Your son underthrew somebody. Did you talk about Hunter who missed a pass in his hands? No, you don't pinpoint like that. You got shit you got to work on, and we'll get better next week.
Darren, one other thing I wanted to say, Thompson, I'm sorry, I'll let you go, but I just want to bring this point across. Darren, coaching-wise, I was always taught and coaching myself around the playgrounds, your son, when you coach your son on your team, your son's supposed to set an example for the other players on the team. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I do. And, I've coached a lot of kids in my life, but I've coached a lot of kids where their dad coached with me. Like, prime example, I seen one of the players last night. His dad didn't even coach him. Like, his dad let everybody else coach him. You get what I'm saying? Including the head coach of the Rage. His son plays offense and defense, but they don't feed it. It's not hand-fed. The nipples out the mouth kind of. If I'm yelling at the kid, then he did something wrong, the head coach ain't going to say nothing. That's what it is. I can't imagine if Deion's son screwed up on defense.
Do you see?
He could dig into his ass without Deion saying something.
Pancho, do you see Deion staying after his sons leave?
I say yes. The only reason is because I don't see an NFL team. You might get you can see Mark Davis hiring Deion Sanders. I can see that.
Is that what you think? You think that's a possibility right now?
Jerry Jones doing it.
Not right now. He's got to have some level of success. I mean, you can't go out and win 3 or 4 games.
It's too early to hit the NFL.
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying I think he's going to stay. And as he starts to turn this roster over into 3, 4, and 5 stars, which he's got coming in this year.
But next year, I'm going to shoot that down real quick. But go ahead, Pancho. Go ahead.
But he's got big. I mean, again, they got to sign the dotted line that year to make it work.
Listen, Cooch.
Let me ask you guys. Hold on. I've been quiet. Hold on.
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
I want to get a point across too. Let's bring up something nobody's brought up yet. How long has this guy been coaching?
Wait up. When is the last time you watched a Colorado game on TV?
Exactly. I mean, what he's done for the program, it's been light years of what it was, light years above.
How long has it been since?
Oh, I could go back because I know probably more Colorado football, and I'm not trying to talk shit here, but I know more Colorado football than most because I grew up as a Colorado fan. I can go back to Rashawn Salam, Michael Westbrook, Ray Caruth, Cordell Stewart, Christian Fourier. I can name drop all fucking day long. My question I got to ask, and Pancho's right about this, they haven't been relevant for a very long time. Mm-hmm. I mean, Rick Neuheisel, when he first got there, replacing Bill McCartney. So, look, I got my Colorado credit. Look, I'm going to go back to this, though. How long has Deion been coaching overall? And I'm not trying to listen, dude. I'm not trying to give a free pass to Deion. I just think we got to look at open-minded. How long has this guy been coaching college football?
A long time ago. I'm agreeing with you.
But how many years? How many years has he been coaching college football?
What, 3?
3.
That's what I'm saying. So listen, if this was a guy off the street, let's be real. This is a nobody that came into LSU or Alabama or Ole Miss. 30-year-old dude off the street somewhere with his visor on and his khaki shorts, and he's making some wrong calls. He says the wrong thing after a game. It's nowhere near under the microscope as what it is for Deion Sanders, who's one of the most notable coaches out there right now because of what he did as a player and what he accomplished. I think the problem is I think we're quick to make a judgment. And listen, dude, let's just give the guy time. I mean, it was a great story. It obviously fizzled out. Fatty was right about that. We knew that was coming.
But
Nobody was
but
predicting
here's
that
the
team to be in the
difference.
top 5 this year.
You got to separate the Jackson State Dion from the Colorado Dion.
Well, right, and I think it's going to take time, and that's what I'm saying. I think we just got to give the guy time.
He was taking it more seriously at Jackson State. Now it's all become about Dion again. So,
but I mean, we got to give it time, though, guys. We got to give it time. Let him get that recruit. You
talking about coaching. Comment on this. Coach just posted. Look, listen, wait. I want to read this comment and let Dave elaborate because it's coaching. Coach said there's a lot of the time where Prime doesn't even know what's going on the field.
And that's the thing. And I mean, I'm not saying this guy's gonna be the next coming of Bear Bryant here. I mean, let's be real. We don't know that. That's what I'm saying. Let's just give it a little time because he's in Division I now. We got to see it. Let's give it. Look, this year it's a learning experience. Like Pancho made the comment so many times, and it's true. Look at all the turnover on that roster. You're building something. It's like an expansion NFL team. You're not doing shit in year 1. It's a great story. They won a few games. They beat some teams maybe they shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? But let's be real. This is the expectations have got to be tapered a little bit.
Take away the fact that you've seen them on TV, national TV, every game this year is. USC would love to have that coverage. Notre Dame would have that coverage.
They're media darlings. State,
Alabama don't get that coverage. They on prime time, damn near every week, and you watching
but
them.
no one, not people are watching it as you think. It's dropped off.
But look, I'm not disagreeing, y'all. But look, Darren, I want you to answer this one for me. Do you kind of feel like Shadour's going to come back for another year? And when we're talking about Prime getting a head coaching job in the NFL, do you think they will manipulate that to where they both go to the same team?
No,
I don't think that.
Because I kind of got a feel this is where this is going.
So listen, you got to remember something. Nowadays, these kids, these young men and women, they get paid more with the NIL deals than what they would if they got drafted in the late 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. He's not a 1st-round pick. The kid's good. He's still got a lot of development to go. He's not really – he's a 1 or 2 read guy. He doesn't really read the 3rd and 4th yet. In the NFL, you got to have that. Like Angel Reese, I know this is bouncing around a little bit, but Angel Reese, she said she wasn't going to go to the WNBA because she's making more money at LSU. So
that's crazy,
The point of that is, yes, I do see that both the Sanders brothers stay in college for as long as possible. And why not when your dad is trying to make sure that your stats are where they at instead of taking you out with 4 minutes left in the game when you're down by 3 scores.
Nobody wants to bring that up neither. I don't think the son at cornerback is that very good.
No, he's good.
I mean, he's good. I mean, Shadour's the one, let's be real. I mean, he's the one that's going to be the pro prospect a little more, in my opinion. And like Darren said, he's going to have to learn. He needs another year. I mean, especially in a rich quarterback draft, he's not going to be a top 5 quarterback regardless this year. Stay in school, get better. Like you said, learn your progression.
I'm not disagreeing with Pancho about the hate around college football because all of the publicity, I mean, all of notoriety that Colorado got. I mean, they were on everybody's television. I mean, we all seen it. And
the media, dude, they were media darlings. And it's like we can't blame those kids for what happened there. It was a great story. They ran with it. It is what it is.
But we can blame them, Dave. We can blame them.
But we can't blame the school. We can't blame the players. We can't blame Dion. The media did this. I mean, they won a couple games and they got overboard with it.
Dion and the team added the fuel to the fire. And
I guess they did, but that bad happens when you're under the microscope the way that they were. That happens. Like Pancho said, if you got it, listen, man, these are kids. There's kids talking shit and look. LSU's guys on a bunch of little citizens standing there, like bowing down to the coach. They're talking shit. They're listening to the same music Colorado's listening to. They're talking noise. I mean, it happens everywhere.
So listen, we grew up to Nick, Nick being head honcho and being on, the Saturday prime time with John Daly coming on and you know what I'm saying? Now you got prime time coming on with, Lil Wayne. So again,
it's a different culture, yeah.
You got to
listen. Y'all can say you can say it all you want, Pancho, but Darren knows this. Darren, would you agree? Darren, would you agree? Would you agree? And you're like you said, your buddy Shames on here. He's a coach. Is there a coaching fraternity to where there's a code for these coaches amongst themselves?
What you mean a code as far as what though?
As far as like going about, most coaches on a day-to-day basis know the things that they shouldn't do in public. They all, you know what I mean? Like, what I mean by this? What I mean by this? In college, listen, we know what Prime brung to Colorado, but we've never seen nothing like that as far as players acting like that, a coach acting like that. We've never seen it. Is what I mean, Darren.
So Deion's not a coach; he's a figurehead.
I've coached on staffs where literally they did not want you drinking in public. Period. Like, look, if you're out in public, and you're having a drink, let somebody else make it for you. Put it in a styrofoam cup. No beers. When you go out to the local bar, you go shoot pool. Like, you know, I like to shoot pool or shoot darts with you.
Yeah,
we've won a couple. You know that already. But listen, I wouldn't have been able to have a beer in my hand, or you know what I'm saying, or taking shots. Then I know some coaches, no names of course, but I know some coaches that'll go out to the bar rooms and drink and stuff like that. You know, so I mean, it varies. But me personally, if I was coaching a high school around here or a college around here, I wouldn't be drinking in public, and I wouldn't be acting a certain way. You kind of got to watch what you do, because you're the leader. These kids are looking up to you whether you like it or not. I mean, sometimes you're a father figure to these kids because they just don't have a dad.
Attitude reflect leadership.
You know, so that's what it is.
So what you said was, so you kind of agree with Fatty is saying that Deion should have stepped in and set a better example for these kids, that what you just said, flashing watches at halftime, this and that, you know?
I think
he needed to start with himself first. I mean,
hold on. I think the thing that pissed me off the most about the Deion situation, as far as not leading by example, is I think it might have been Colorado State's head coach said, look, whenever I'm talking to somebody, I take my sunglasses off. That's like what my mom taught me. It's a respect thing. Yeah. He wasn't down Deion's mom. He was saying how his mother raised him.
Yeah.
So what Deion did when they beat him, he gave him all sunglasses, and his kid did a interview with sunglasses on.
Yeah, sometimes, like, I agree, Dan.
Let me tell you what, if that would have been my son, I would have knocked the sunglasses off his face.
That's crazy. No, because like
what?
No. You telling somebody,
oh my God,
you gotta allow a person to be themselves, but they go outside of it. As long as you don't speak ill will, you can look. If you look like $1 million bucks, you feel like $1 million bucks. I mean,
let's be honest, Pancho. This generation today has no respect for the elders. That's a fact.
Yeah,
no, for authority, not so much elders.
If you're gonna get your feelings hurt, don't watch the game. If it's gonna hurt your feelings, I'm happy for the guy. I'm ecstatic for the guy. I'm ecstatic for Colorado. These kids ain't never had a platform. These kids now got a platform.
If they win, who cares? If they win, who cares?
Who wants to watch a bunch of kids be assholes, dude?
But we saw this. This ain't the first time this is happening.
A couple weeks ago.
No, but I mean, look, let's be real.
Let me finish. So, Richie, you go out tomorrow and buy your fresh new Harley. What are you doing? You put it on Facebook. You showing everybody, and you're a grown man. You're almost 50 years old. If you're not 50, already.
How is that disrespecting the media?
But I'm not saying
Richie,
you call it disrespect. You personally call it disrespect.
Yeah. Y'all, I think we're looking into a little too deep.
Opinion. That ain't my opinion. I don't feel that way.
Okay. If that's the thing now, Pancho, why ain't all the college teams doing it?
They don't get
because wait, hold on. I want to take this.
These players are walking around with $1 million.
I don't see your boy from USC doing it.
Let me finish. You got players now today that are walking around with $1 million to $5 million in their pocket. They got Lamborghinis. They flashing them. They got whatever.
Go ahead, Dave.
I'm after Pancho. I'll go after Pancho.
He was happy about it. I would feel it. Now, should he flash it in the game? Probably not. But it doesn't make him a bad person. Fuck no.
Okay.
I agree with Pancho.
Okay, he's happy that his hard work is paying off.
But you're selling you selling your website during halftime of a game.
It's a money line.
I mean, look, if he's winning, we're not even having this conversation. If he's winning, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
No, but here's my thing. Listen, I understand what you guys saying. I understand Pancho's side of it, but I want to say this: the reason y'all are asking why is he doing this, why is he trying to create this culture? It's pretty damn obvious. I mean, who the hell wanted to come play at Colorado 2 years ago? No one. Now, even if they're winning 4 or 5 games, you're building your recruiting class. Trust me, he's going to have a fucking knockdown, drag-out recruiting class and transfers coming to that school next year. He's achieving his goal.
Listen, I got news for you. I pay attention to that at Rivals. I'm a member. I pay attention to recruiting. And Colorado ain't even in the top 10 right now.
Let's just give it a little time. Let's give it a little time. I want to see. I will make a bold prediction on this. They will have. I'll bet $100 to everybody. They will have a top 10 recruiting class after this season's over.
No way.
It won't even be a question.
No
They'll
way.
get big name transfers. There's somebody that's going to transfer and go to that school because of what Dion is.
Go ahead, Darren.
So first off, I agree 100%, and I think they got like the number 2 quarterback. Not this year, but the next year coming in. But hold on, we got some comments.
Go ahead.
Cooch said, dude, Colorado games are going more than NFL games. Cooch answered 20 years, he said he feels since the last time Colorado's been on television a lot.
Yeah.
Josh agrees with him. Cooch says it doesn't matter. It all comes down to the money. Nothing more to say. Colorado.
Absolutely.
Josh says Colorado has made their program relevant again. Truly, it matters the most when the conference shifts. That's true. Shane says, hell, college coaches have to deal with kids talking transfer portal halfway through the season now if a team doesn't like the way they perform like they should. Cooch says he shows emotion. Nothing put his staff. That is nothing but the best in football. As far as coaching experience, over 150 combined. They said it. The offensive coordinator gave up a head coaching job to go to coach with him.
Yeah.
Shane says he cannot, talking about Dion's son, he can honestly use 2 more years in college. Then he would be considered a high draft pick. I agree.
Yeah.
Dora's making over $10 million a year in NIL deals. That's crazy. He's making more than most coaches. Ryan says they got to have a code of conduct. Shane says players will always be a direct representation of their coach.
Yep. 100% true.
And I agree with pretty much all that, dude. I don't think me and Pancho are trying to bang the drum and say, hey, Colorado's doing everything right. There's a lot of shit that's being done wrong, but I understand why they're doing what they're doing and why he brought the attention there. The media blew it out of proportion, but he's succeeding right now for where he is in year 1. He's getting players to come there. He's already won more games than what they've won the past couple of years.
You're right. I'm agreeing.
So let's play devil advocate. Dion comes in, doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Put some product on the field. They had the same record with no flash and no nothing. Do you think? And they don't get the TV hype because of Dion not being flashy. So now you ain't got no teams on TV.
So they're getting TV hype because he's flashy?
Wait, hold on, hold on.
Wait.
Richard, go ahead.
It's because of Dion. It's because of Dion. Absolutely.
You're getting the 2 Saturdays primetime game day at Colorado because of Dion.
Yep.
So take all that away.
Okay.
Just put Dion on his normal coach platform. Do you think players are coming there next year? Do you think they bring in all this hype? The hotels are booked. The city doesn't have anywhere for you to go to stay because Colorado is the highest season ticket in the country right now.
Why they on prime time right now?
Because of who they are. Because of Dion.
No, why they not? They're not on primetime games right now.
No, I mean they're not winning, Richie. If they kept winning, they were going to be.
So,
let's be real.
It's Dion. It's Dion.
Did you
they're not winning because they don't have a good enough team right now. It's the first year of the program. We got to give it time.
You said it's hype right now, so why are they not on prime time?
Because they're not good. They're not winning games at this point.
You've seen Colorado and Stanford on primetime TV. Stanford is garbage.
Yeah.
And you watch that on primetime TV only because of Deion Sanders.
Let me ask you this: What school did everybody want to go to? Let's go back a few years. Let's go back to the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Where did everybody want to go?
Colorado next year is 57 in recruiting. You know what there was probably this year and last year? Probably 150 something. But there's only 160 schools.
But Pancho, you're saying that Dion got them all of that, got them the prime, and that's fine. But they're getting headlines in the wrong places now, is what I'm trying to say.
Chris, you're gonna have haters.
They're doing it to themselves. How it's fucking haters. They're the ones crying about their fucking jewelry and Shador being a little fucking
Listen, let me ask you this because I'm sure we all seen this movie. Chris made a comment about the sunglasses. Do you remember? You ever seen the movie American Gangster?
Yeah.
What happens when his brother talks to him with them sunglasses on? What does Denzel Washington do?
You look
What
like
does
a
he do?
clown.
What does he do? Rips him off his face and says, "Talk to me with some damn respect, boy."
Listen, fellas, let's catch up.
Yeah.
Ryan says yes, Fatty. Shane says always remember winning solves everything. Josh agrees. Coach says college football is wrong, and the worst thing was for them to allow transfers of players getting money. Kenny said everything's about money. Shane says, like Darren said, rules and coaches set in place. Players have to abide by the code of conduct is number one.
Yep.
I said, I want you guys to know that this has been an absolute blast to watch. Can't wait for the next one.
Thank you.
Coach said there will be a powerhouse top 5 team. Robin says humility, respect, and integrity goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Shane says Darren loves Shane. I just want you to read this. Josh says, like, really loves a lot. Shane, I do love you, brother. Anything you need, you know that. Coach says they won't win another game. Shane says Colorado is glad Dion does what he does because they needed the money to be able to pay him. Yeah. Ryan says use Jackson State as – hold on, we're getting damn comments all the time. Use Jackson State as an example. They were not prominent or sought after. Shane Anderson says Colorado paid Dion's contract with the win against TCU, so is the school is thankful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, how long have we been on here? It feels like we've been on here like fucking 3 hours.
Dude, it's almost 2 freaking hours.
I was about to say, y'all, I'm about to.
Yeah. Listen. Let's dive into it right quick. I got the picks up. I got the spreads up. Let's get into it right quick. Y'all go look. Y'all can dive into it. We're gonna do it quick. We don't need to dive into the game. We got Tennessee at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh minus 2.5.
I'm going Tennessee. I like Will Levis.
Pancho.
Yeah, I mean, would tell you go with Mike Tomlin, but Tennessee is. I would say I'm gonna say Pittsburgh, man.
I'm going Pittsburgh down. What about you?
If Pittsburgh's quarterback plays, I take Pittsburgh. But if not,
Patty, what about you?
Pittsburgh.
Got it. Miami at Kansas City. Kansas City minus 1.5.
Kansas City. They bounce back. Mahomes feeling better. They bounce back.
I'm going Miami.
I hope we keep track of this shit, y'all, because I've yet to see the standings.
We have. I'll go back and listen to it.
You Alan, just write it down. Now on that game, if the weather's going to be a factor, I believe. If it's snowy or cold, Miami's going to have issues.
All right, pick a game.
If it's 60, I would go Miami. I don't see why Miami don't.
Darren.
Miami.
Got it. All right, y'all. We got Seattle at Baltimore. Baltimore's -6. Wow.
Baltimore's playing good football. Y'all didn't want to talk about them when I said something about Baltimore earlier. I'm going to go Baltimore.
Give me the 6. I'm taking Seattle. Give me the 6.
I'm going Baltimore, man.
Yeah. They're playing in Seattle?
Yeah, Baltimore.
I'm going to take Baltimore.
Darren.
I'll take the over.
You got Fatty, what you got?
Baltimore.
Arizona at Cleveland. Cleveland -8.
Cleveland.
That's going to be an ugly game.
Cleveland.
That game is going to be so fucking ugly, guys.
Darren, will you?
It will be.
Cleveland.
Pancho?
Man. Kyler Murray coming back? I'd say.
Oh, geez. Is Murray playing? I thought Clayton Tune's the guy.
No, Clayton Tune. Yeah, I'm going to go the other way then.
He's not playing.
Who is Watson playing?
Yes.
Arizona.
All right. Washington at New England. New England -3.5.
I'm going Washington. My boy Sam Howell. I like that kid.
Pancho.
He's going to be New England.
Darren.
Patriots.
I'm going Washington. Fatty.
Washington.
Chicago at the Saints. Saints -8.5.
Saints cover. Saints cover.
Yeah, I can't pick against them. If you can't beat this team by 8 points, I don't know, man.
Yeah, we're talking about next year. If you lose to this team, you got to beat this team.
You might see a Jamie sighting next week.
So
Oh, Jesus.
I was waiting for us to pick this game to tell my boy Darren, thank you for your services, my friend, and I will be sending you my tickets to the game because I will not be attending.
Same.
What game?
Same.
Chicago this Sunday.
Oh, bro. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I gotta work that day.
Bet. I'll be
So
there.
next we got LA at Green Bay -3.
What, LA? Rams?
Yeah. The Rams. I'm sorry, yeah, the Rams.
Who? At Green Bay?
Yep. I'm taking the Rams.
Man, that's a tough one, dude. I don't know. I got a weird feeling Green Bay wins at home. I don't like either one of these teams that much, but
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Green Bay too.
I'll go with Green Bay if the weather's cold.
I'm gonna have to take the Rams on this one.
Rams, man, it's been ugly all the way around.
I'm going Rams too. Who you going, Pancho?
Hey, Cooch,
I'm gonna go
Cooch, back off my ticket, man.
Next up, we got Tampa Bay at Houston, 2.5 for Houston.
I know who I want to win this game, but I don't know, man.
Houston's -2.5. Actually, Houston's the favorite.
I think Tampa squeaks this one out.
I'm going Houston. I've been in that damn place. Houston plays a lot different there.
Yeah.
Pancho, we were both there, Pancho, huh? They play differently in that building.
Tampa, I'm going with
They,
Tampa.
I can't do it.
What?
It's Tampa.
All right. Next, we got Minnesota at Atlanta. Atlanta -5.
Atlanta. I hate to do it.
Man, I think it's Atlanta across the board.
Yeah.
I think Minnesota's going to pull that one off.
Really?
Yep.
Hey, I say Minnesota by 10.
Joshua Dobbs, baby.
The question is, who's gonna start the game? That's the question for Atlanta.
Joshua Dobbs is starting.
For Atlanta.
Man, y'all know Atlanta's got a top
What are you
5
talking
defense
about?
right now, right?
Heineke's starting.
I like that move. I like that move. I like
They're
Heineke
still talking about it.
starting.
But,
Heineke's starting that game,
but in
dude.
Minnesota, the Dobbs is not starting for.
It's that
Minnesota.
Jaron Hall kid supposed to be starting.
God.
Yeah. It's going to be a shit show for them at quarterback no matter what. Atlanta's got a pretty good defense, man.
I'm still going down. I got Minnesota straight up.
No, I'm gonna go Falcons. I mean, if you want to put it on paper, it's the Falcons. I don't.
I think Heineke makes his mark, and he's the quarterback the rest of the season after this
Next
game.
up, we got Indy at Colorado. Carolina.
India, Carolina.
Yeah, Colorado. Carolina. I keep saying Colorado. Carolina.
Kakalaki.
Yeah, Carolina gets 2.5.
I'm going Indy, man. I think Carolina's a shit show.
Yeah, you could put that on channel 54 or something, and nobody's gonna watch it. So,
And
Yeah,
Who you got,
lingerie
Pancho?
league's
Pick
going to
it.
get more
Let's go.
views, man.
You go with Indy.
I'm picking Carolina.
All right, I'm going Carolina also. Next up, New York at Las Vegas with no coach.
With New York?
It's in Las Vegas.
The
With
Giants.
New York.
What New York?
The Giants at the Giants.
That's another shit show.
Ooh, that's a fucking disaster. They got some shit games, man, this week.
Where is
Golly.
Shane at on this?
And
I
you know
wanna
what's the funny? You know what's the funny thing is the interim head coach for the Vegas is the New York Giants old linebacker Pierce.
Pierce, yeah.
Oh, Antonio Pierce?
Yes.
I'm
I'm
going
gonna
Raiders.
go ahead. I'm gonna just say go Raiders, dude. I
I'm
don't know
going
why,
Raiders
but I'm gonna go
because
with them.
I think Devontae's going to get 15 catches that game.
Aiden O'Connell, man. Aiden O'Connell's got his audition, man. So we'll see.
Giants.
All right. Next up, the big one of the week, Cowboys at Philadelphia.
Ooh, man.
At Philadelphia.
I think Philly's at home. They win at home.
Philly's gonna beat the shit out of them at home.
Yeah,
Philly by double.
I'm telling y'all right now, and you can mark it. Y'all can record this because I'm going to say it loud and clear. And I can't stand them. But the Cowboys are going to run shot.
Whew.
On
Depends
Philly.
if the weather
They
if weather's in
can't
that
play on the
favor.
road.
No.
They can't play on the road.
I don't care.
I don't
Philly-
like the matchups in this game. I don't know how the Cowboys guard those pass catchers.
Philly hasn't been playing good football to me. I'm sorry.
Game, no doubt. Philly by
Have you not
7.
seen the 130 or 125 yards for the last 6 games?
Yeah, AJ Brown with Devontae Smith,
That
Goddard,
dude's
man,
a
they got too many
man.
weapons,
AJ
man.
Brown's been killing it.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Next up, we got another big one. Buffalo's at Cincinnati. Cincinnati -2.
That's a hell of a. I think that's the best game of the week.
Holy
I mean, right here.
That one in the Miami Chiefs game is going to be the top 2 games of the week.
I don't know, man.
Games on primetime.
That is a close game.
Sunday
That is
night.
a close
Sunday night.
game.
Sunday night.
That's a hell of a. That's going to be a close game, man. I think that game comes down to a field goal. It's almost a pick 'em for me, but man, I like something about Josh Allen and Buffalo, man. I'm just going to go that way.
Just so y'all know, our viewers are chiming in and they go on every pick.
Yeah,
Nice.
Well, dude, Buffalo has allowed Josh Allen to run just like he used to.
I'm telling you, I'm taking Cincinnati because I think Cincinnati's defense is playing very well right now.
You know, they're going to get tested, man. Dalton Kincaid, watch this kid. This dude's the next Kelsey, possibly, man.
I'm going Cincy. Darren, who you got?
I'm going to take Joe Burrow.
Pancho, who you got?
I'm going to go Buffalo.
Dave, you going Buffalo?
Yeah, close game.
Fatty, who
field
you
goal.
got? Fatty, who you got?
Bengals.
Got it. All right, y'all.
Hey, it looks like all our viewers are going with Cincy for this game.
Yes, everybody's going Cincy. All right, we got
that just shows you your Baton Rouge.
Right. Oh yeah. That's your Burrow love coming through right there. But good game though. Great game. It will be a great game, I think.
Chargers at Jets. Jets are getting 3.5. I'll take them points.
The Jets are at home?
Yep.
I think Saleh gets it done, man. I think the Chargers are too talented, but they're a mess on paper, man. I mean, they're a mess. They're talented on paper, but they're a mess on the field. I think the Jets win.
I'm calling it right now. That's the next firing right there.
Yeah, it could be. I think the Jets win because Saleh is that much of a better head coach, and they're at home.
I'm gonna go with a guy who can throw with a broken finger, and Justin Hebert, dude.
It's on his left hand, Poncho.
It don't matter.
All right, Darren, who you got, Darren?
I think that the Chargers play hard for their coach because they know his job's on the line. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers on this one.
Fatty, who you got?
The Chargers, because I got Herbert is my starting quarterback for my fantasy team.
All right, next up is for all you, but like Pancho just said, next up is for all you Bayou Bengals fans and LSU fans. We got LSU at Alabama. Let's go.
I'm going to get booed on this, but I'm taking Bama.
I think LSU goes in there. I told you, if they can hold them down to 24 points, if they can hold Alabama to 24, LSU scores 35. So,
Darren, what you got?
I'm taking Alabama -3.5.
Ooh, Patty, who you got?
I'll be like more on Pancho. I see them by 2 touchdowns. I don't know the score, but by 2 touchdowns at least.
Good.
I got LSU winning 36-10.
Damn.
Jaden Daniel throwing 4 tubs.
If he does that, he wins the Heisman.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on that.
60-40. 100 points.
Listen, I want to listen. Listen, we're going to end this all on a good note. Listen, guys, it has been wonderful. Thank you, everyone who joined in the comments. This has absolutely been one of the best shows that we have had. Tune in. I want to welcome once again Darren to officially to be one of our co-hosts on our show on a regular basis. It's been nothing but a pleasure. You know,
he's drank the blood out the chalice, man. He's become one of the Lost Boys, basically. You know,
Darren. I mean, and Pancho. You know, we know we're always wishing you to get well, my friend. We know that, brother. You know, we love you.
Yep.
You know that. Darren, hey, the voice himself, Mr. Dave Robin, of course. Fatty in the Bayou Geeks. Y'all make sure to like that page. Man, look, that's some funny
Go
stuff.
back and
listen,
look at the Halloween show. I'll show y'all a picture. That was us Saturday night.
Nice.
So listen, I'm thinking, guys, if y'all want to do it, because we talked about it, it's going to be so much fun. We are going to officially do a wrestling show.
Oh, we are?
Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, we are.
How does that work for y'all?
Hey, shout out to the Mississippi Gulf Coast Raiders on a big victory Saturday. Big
There you
victory
go.
Saturday.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah. Oh, you know I can't leave there representing. Shout out to my Shaw Eagles, district champions for the 2nd year in a row.
Forget about that. Darren, tell them about the Chalmette High Owls.
Shout out to them Chalmette Owls.
District champions, baby. Chalmette
My
High
daughter,
Owls.
hey, my daughter is an alum.
Hey, looking good, baby. Well, look, fellas, y'all have a good one. Y'all be safe.
Peace out. Who that?
All right, guys. Who that?